No, I don't.
Loser.
You're a loser.
You know, you were talking about the NFL game day thing.
Oh my god!
I performed the most glorious pass on live on YouTube. A 75-yard completed pass on 3rd and 2 from the 18 on my electronic football.
That Tudor football game did look pretty righteous. I really regret not buying it at Gen Con.
Yeah, I wish I would have got a chance to interview them. I was interested in it, but it was always people at the booth. Which
it was packed. I mean, the money just flew out of my pocket. I mean, it wasn't even in question. But
I'm sure it'll. Well, go to PAX Unplugged or something. I'm sure they'll be there. If you want to buy it.
I won't be, but their website has all the stuff you can order. They had a Gen Con deal, which was like 20% off, which would have been nice, but
yeah, better than nothing, right?
Better than nothing.
Hey everyone, blah 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 blah. It is.
What an intro.
Yeah. No, I'm frazzled right now. I'm annoyed. Well, I'm annoyed about a lot of things, but I'm trying to remain positive. But I'm like weirdly stupid annoyed because it's like one of those things where I unpacked my stuff from Gen Con and like I'm looking for something that I got there and I can't find it anywhere. So I'm like always like, well, it's gotta be in the house somewhere, right? Because I didn't like lose it. And I'm trying to it's like there's no way I didn't pack it, so it's somewhere in my house and I'm like annoyed that I can't find it. And just because, what is it? It's just all it is when I went to the Badger booth, I bought like a complete range of their primer for
air primer.
No, I don't know. It's like it's some sort of paint. It's their primer. It's like comes in like 12 different colors, and they had a deal where you can get all 12 of like the larger bottles of it for like $40 or something. It was a really good deal, and I got it. And it's got to be somewhere in the house, but I've been looking all over for it for like the last 2 hours, and I can't find it anywhere. And that's just pissing me off because it's just like, well, where the F could this frickin' be? And I hate losing shit. It just bothers me to no end when I can't find something that and I'm like, well, if I've been just smart enough and like I put it away where it should have gone when I got it, I wouldn't be worried about it. But of course I was like, I'll find a spot for it later. Now it's later and I'm like, well, where the frick is this shit? And I can't find it anywhere. So I'm annoyed. Which is whatever. It's just dumb. And then the other thing, I had my follow-up appointment today. My doctor that I normally go to, which is in the walk-in clinic, he was like, you need to get a standard practice doctor. And I was like, okay, fine. Just pick somebody for me. And he's like, oh, well, I know this lady. She's a really good. Do you mind going to a lady? I was like, well, is she a doctor? I mean, it's like, it isn't like I'm going to some back alley and some like.
Hello there, big boy.
Yeah. It isn't like yanking on my crank or something like that. So I'm pretty. Well,
insurance doesn't cover that.
No. I mean, seriously, like one time when I, and not to be graphic, but I mean,
not for the finish at least.
Where's this story going? I'm excited.
No. One time when I was a little more athletic than I am now, and I played a lot of softball, I took a line drive right off of the buddies, and and I decided I'd just walk it off with some beer and brats after the game, and then
any normal person would.
Yeah.
True champion.
Yeah, and so then the next day I was like, oh my God, I can't walk because I was in so much pain. And like it turns out I had like testicular torsion.
Oh.
Which is bad. And it hurts a lot.
You can say that.
Yeah. And so I went into the hospital. I mean, this is true story. So I walk in, I'm like hobbled. I can barely walk in. You see these people like come in like orderlies like show up out of nowhere for like anybody who's older or looks like. But I'm just like they're just like watching me walk in as I'm gingerly trying to like not scream as I walk. And I finally get to the front and I was like, what can I? And I was just like, that's fine. It's like I'm sure like people would be embarrassed for what they have to say, but I'm at a hospital, so I'm gonna tell them. you walk in, I need to see a doctor. And they said, well, what do you need to see a doctor for? And I was just like, okay, well, you're a receptionist, but we're gonna hospital. I mean, you're gonna have people say things to you that like are gonna be weird and whatever. And like I said, I took a softball off my genitals last night, and I think I may have really hurt myself because I'm having trouble walking, as you can see. And like the lady got super embarrassed, and she was like, "Well, you could have just said it was you had soreness." And I was like, "Well, I didn't want to say I had soreness. I seriously thought I had broken my stuff." And I was just like, yeah, and I was just like, whatever. And then so I go and I crawl back, and she's like, okay, well, we'll put you down or whatever. And I crawl back to a chair, and I'm lying there, just like, just going, oh God, like I'm like 25. I'm thinking I've like, ruined myself for life or something, like all dumb 25-year-olds think. And I'm sitting there, and then this lady walks up to me. And like I was like, well, what is going on? What does she need? I gave her all my information. I gave her my insurance card. She walks up to me and she's like, can you come over here? And I need to talk to you for a second. I was like, can't you just talk to me right here? I said, I don't want to move. And she's like, well, and she's like, looks all embarrassed. And she's like, we only have a woman doctor on staff today. Is that going to be okay for you? And I just said, is she a doctor? I just said, is she a doctor? And she's like, yes. And I was like, so yes, that's totally fine. I was just like, I didn't. This isn't like my master plan to get a date. I just like. So
it was brilliant.
Yeah. It's like, all right, now hit me with the softball really, really hard. This is gonna work. This is gonna be awesome. 2, 3. Yes. But anyway, so that was, I went to, the guy's like, okay, you need a normal doctor. And he gets me this lady. And I'm like, all right, cool, fine, whatever. So I set up my time and I go in and it's like, whatever. And they're supposed to come in. They're going to check my thyroid and everything, just whatever. And so I get in and they scheduled me August 15th. I was like, oh, he said this would be a good way for her to like double check to see how the medication's going for you. And also you get to know her. And if it's a good fit, then she can be your doctor and this, that, and the other thing. I was like, all right, that's cool. Sounds like a blast. Let's do this. And so I go in and they're like, oh, okay, here, let's weigh you, tubby. And then it was just like, okay, let's check your blood pressure.
That's when the announcer came in and weighing in from the aisle.
No, that was when I got on the scale and it said one at a time. No.
Can you put down those 2 suitcases, please?
Yes. So no, I did joke with her. She was like, I had my like sandals on. She's like, you're gonna have to take the sandals off and take off anything heavy that might be in your pockets. I said, lady, ain't gonna help. I was just like, this is all me. I've earned this. I'm gonna own up to it. But so so here's the deal. So then I get in there and then like the the lady was really nice and she was like really friendly and everything like that. And she was like, all right, and well, you're going to see Dr. whatever. I'm not going to say the name. I don't want people to like Google anything. But you're going to see Dr. And I was like, all right, that's cool. And I was like, and she's like, you're going to see them about your thyroid. I was like, yeah. And she's like, that's really weird that you're going to see her about your thyroid. I was like, well, no, it's both to like check on that and also to like, maybe I'll have somebody that I can have as my my family doctor, somebody that I can just have somebody that I'll go see once a year. And she's like, well, you're not going to get her. And I was just like, oh, like, it's like, did she see me? And like, oh, not him, just like, no. I was like, okay. I was just, well, why?
She only handles softball injuries.
Yeah, no. She said, no, she's a geriatric specialist. You have to be 62 years or older for her to be your doctor. And I'm like, well, why
never seen your balls?
Yeah.
The balls of a 63-year-old man.
And I was like, well, why the F did you guys sign me up for this lady then? I'm just like, well, this is ridiculous. So I'm like, okay, well, fine, whatever. She's still a doctor. She can tell me if like we need to change my thyroid medication up or everything like that. So I just, whatever, it's cool. Just send her in. Let's get this over with, kind of thing. And then so it's like, then there's the wait, as you're waiting for the doctor to show up. And I'm thinking, I'm paying money for this. This is so stupid. Then I'm waiting. So the lady comes in and she's very nice, and I'm sitting there and I'm talking to her, and she's just like, and she starts just kind of going over my chart, and she's like, okay, well, this, that, and the other thing, and I was like, okay, well, I mean, are we gonna like test my thyroid, things like that? Well, how's the medication working out for you? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I didn't like ask my thyroid for a score. I was just like, I mean, well, have you having any side effects? Well, I said I've been really tired lately, but I mean, it might be because of work. I don't know. She's like, what do you do for a job? I was like, nothing strenuous, I assure you. I'm not going to, because I have found that when you tell somebody, oh, I work for a board game publisher, it just turns into 1,000 questions. And so you're just like, I don't want to have to go through that. And I was just like, all right.
Puts on the dark sunglasses.
Yeah. And then she says, she's sitting there and she says, okay, well, here's the deal. It takes about 8 weeks for the thyroid medication to really start working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you come back, and you're going to go to the lab, and you're going to get there, and they're going to be like, and come back on the 1st of September so they can take some blood and they can see it. And I'm also going to you're going to have to fast for it. And she's just gone through this whole thing, which fine. She gave me directions as to what I had to do, to successfully take this test or whatever. But then here's the kicker. So I'm like, oh, okay. So can we work out what we should have for my actual doctor that I'm going to have going forward, since I can't have you because I'm not 62 years old. And she said, oh, well, we got lots of great doctors here. They're all really good. And she's like, but we got a really good nurse practitioner. Why don't we I can definitely have you work with her. And then my doctor, the guy that I normally go to, that couldn't take me as a family practice doctor, he said, they're going to try to give you a nurse practitioner. Don't take it. He's like, you want an actual doctor. This is you're getting older. You're going to have serious, you want somebody with a doctor degree, so don't take the nurse practitioner. He's like, I'm not saying they are good. I'm not saying, he's just like, don't do it. And I was like, all right. So then I was just like, actually, my Dr. Naya said I should, get a real doctor, not a nurse practitioner. She's like, why would he tell you that? She said. I was just like, I don't know. He just said, go take a nurse practitioner. I was gonna like start some little inner feud, within the hospitals. And so then she's like, oh, well, we actually have a brand new doctor coming. His name is Enrique Tobias. And I said, I love the name. Sign me up. I was like, that sounds like a guy that I want to work with. I want Enrique Tobias to be my doctor. And I was excited. So they're like, oh, that's cool. So she's like, okay, you'll go out there and they'll set up a thing or whatever. All right. So I go out there and I'm like, okay, I got to come back in the 1st. So they couldn't even tell me if my medication was working exactly how it should be. I couldn't do that. And then I was sitting there, and then like the lady's like, okay, well, I'm supposed to set up an appointment with this guy. And she's like, oh, well, he's not actually in the system. So you're going to have to, like, when you come back in for your lab, you're going to have to like have him you're going to have to set up your appointment with him at that point too. And all of a sudden I was just sitting there thinking, why in God's name did I even come here today? Because not only did I come here and play the sit around game, I got a doctor that couldn't take me on in her practice. They couldn't tell me anything when they were like, well, do you have any symptoms? Oh, they could be these. Let's not worry about it. We'll just wait we'll wait till 8 weeks goes by. I'm like, this was all a phone call. This is all it was. But I guess I got to see how fat I was again. That was nice. And I got to
have that going for you.
Yeah, I got them so my blood pressure was good, which, and they got to tell me, it's like, why is your temp? I'm like, I'm never 98.6. If I'm 98.6, I'm sick. Because I'm almost always like 97.9, 98 degrees. It's weird. It's just the way I am. And they're like worried. They're like, oh, 97.9. What? That seems odd. I was like, I always run low. I was just like, that just works. Oh, no, this could be something serious. I was like, oh, don't you check a chart ever? I mean, like every single time I've come in for like, that was annoying. But I mean, yeah, it was absolutely pointless for me to go to the doctor. Absolutely pointless today. It wasted like 2.5 hours of my life.
No, let me tell you about wasting your life. Okay, while you were doing whatever you're doing, and we were in the waiting room here.
Oh no, here it comes.
I actually heard this, but anyway, go ahead.
Yes, I sat here and I listened to Pete serenade me with the entire catalog of Billy Joel.
True story.
And as of this moment, I am permanently scarred. And
You're like Billy Joel?
no, I mean, I don't know what to say at this point. I mean, my mind is, I can't get the vision out of my head of seeing him bopping around,
So
punching out cards, and
I was the
singing
first
Billy
one to
Roll.
jump on tonight, and there was no one here, so I thought I muted and minimized my window so I could get a little work done and crack open some Warhammer Champions packs, and didn't realize that I wasn't muted, and Rob had joined, and he listened to me sing Billy Joel for about, I don't know, about 15 minutes probably before I realized that I was live or I was on. So
That's great.
I'll have you know that you'll be getting a call from Sirius Radio. I'm canceling my subscription. I will never listen to The Bridge again.
yeah, no.
Nah.
I do apologize.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm getting some
song
good
that
cards.
really-
All good.
How much you gonna do your crap by me?
there was a song that actually meant something to me, and now it
Yeah.
has no meaning no longer.
Next week will be Frank Sinatra's greatest hits.
There you go.
I'll be sure.
The summer breeze goes on. But anyway, hey John Rott, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
It's been a day. I'll say that.
Yeah, indeed. Your beard looks shorter. Did you trim it, or is it just an optical illusion?
Might be an optical illusion. I don't know. I didn't trim it. Well, I guess I trimmed the sides. I like, you know, but I didn't cut the length or anything.
Fair enough. How's everybody post Gen recovery week?
Not bad. I took a 4-day weekend this weekend, and today was my first day back to work, and it was much needed. Gave me a chance to actually open up half of the games I got at Gen Con. Currently, I've been cracking open Warhammer Champions, picked up a bunch of starters and a bunch of packs, and played a few games of it, and really, really like it. I know Forrest said he liked it as well. If you haven't played this one yet, it's a really solid game. Really enjoying it, and I love that their cards are both digital and physical, so you can scan all your cards in as you crack packs, and when the app goes live, you'll already have, you know, all those cards already available to you. So really digging it. So I'm excited about that. Played Monster Crunch this weekend, enjoyed that. Played the Transformers CCG, and I liked it, but it's a little bit definitely geared towards the young ones. It's very basic, but decent. But this Warhammer Champions has been my favorite thing coming out of Gen Con so far.
That's cool.
Nice.
How about you, Forrest?
Oh, I'm doing well, aside from spraining my elbow. I was at a teen retreat this weekend, and
Keep it clean, Family Channel.
I just was on a big inflatable thing.
Again, keep it clean, Family Channel.
And sprained my elbow, so it hurts for a while. But yeah, game-wise, great. Work-wise, good. Family-wise, kid is in kindergarten, which is crazy, but it was good.
Did you have school orientation today? Is it your orientation day? It was for us down here.
It was the second day. First day, the bus driver forgot about his bus stop. He stood there with my wife for 20 minutes while she breathed fire.
Oh,
But the bus driver just drove right by him. Like they had
jeez.
a GPS track, and he apparently just didn't stop.
Nice.
That sucks.
Welcome to kindergarten.
Do you remember the days when school wasn't allowed to start before Labor Day?
No, it's been a long time since then.
That's crazy, man.
Hey, Forrest gets to like do an official TMG thing here coming up at the Alliance Trade Show.
Oh, you'll be at Alliance? I'll be at Alliance.
Wasn't trying to brag.
Sweet.
We can
We'll have to play some games, Forrest.
Yeah, we'll have to actually like do something and hang out and who knows what else.
Are you going to be there too, Lance?
Yeah. So yeah, I you know, Forrest obviously lives nearby, so he's going to be sitting in the booth with me while we pick our noses.
Is he the eye candy for the booth?
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, Lance,
Booth
I'm going
babe.
to try and get that Friday off. Do I need to do that?
Well, I mean, it'd be cool if you could. You know,
All right. I'll ask for it off. Most likely, I can probably get it.
we can hang out and, you know, talk crud about people as they walk by. It's like it's a trade. I was like, what do I do with this? And like my boss just said, well, just wait for people to come up, and when they start talking, just ask them about their store. And have them have them tell you about their store and what kind of store it is, and then steer them towards the games you think that they would want to buy for their store.
That's pretty accurate. I mean, unless you're doing presentations or running any of the big events, that's pretty much it. You're there just to hobnob.
Let me tell you something. Those kids, they run around the store all day long, around and around and around.
What the hell are you?
They put the cards down. Or you're listening to people talk.
Is that Mason?
Jackie Mason.
Yeah.
What the hell? I'm just, Anyway, does anybody else have a grievance they want to air? I mean, like I said, mine was pretty.
Grievance. No, things have been really pretty good. I mean,
well, good for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something bad that's happened this week that would make me want to be angry, but having a 4-day weekend, I mean, I sat around building Legos and playing Warhammer all weekend. You really can't complain much about that. So
Wait.
the Voltron's coming along great. I've got the first 3 lions done. I've just got red and green left, and I'm done.
Here's a grievance. So I didn't have one until I just opened my email, and 29 seconds ago I got an email. I asked somebody owed me a couple bucks for shipping on a product, and I asked him to pay me via PayPal. He said, "How can I fix this?" I said, "Just send it over via PayPal," and he sent it over via Interac e-transfer, whatever that is. And now, so now I have to go through the whole. Please actually send it to me the right way. It's a small grievance, but you asked.
I always love how like 99% of people that pay you in PayPal do it like the easy normal way, and then you get the one person who's like sending in some weird e-check that like takes like 72 days to clear, and you're just like, this isn't helping. I understand they're trying to just figure it out and do the best they can, but it's definitely not helpful.
I guess I sort of have a grievance. It's more of a oops, I made a mistake. But at Gen Con, I swung by the Tudor booth to watch the electronic football new version, and it looked pretty cool. And I was pretty jazzed, but decided it wasn't worth the money until I watched Rob's video of him playing it with the app and all that stuff. And now I'm really kicking myself that I didn't just splurge on it, because it is amazing for the nostalgia of old school tabletop electric football and all the stuff they've done to modernize it to make the game actually fun. I'm really kicking myself now for not getting it, because at Gen Con it was like 25% off and free shipping. Now if I want to buy it, it's going to cost about $50 more. So,
well, what do you do?
Sometimes you make the right call. Sometimes you make the wrong call. That was definitely the wrong call.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to you didn't have to go and talk to a geriatric doctor.
Back to this.
I can't get off Lance's nuts.
Just ruined. I mean, it was just like, I could be home working, and I'm like, this is what I'm doing instead.
Well, you went from geriatric doctor to, quote, we're gonna, that's future tense, we're gonna have a, quote, new doctor named Enrique Tobias. So you go from geriatric to fresh meat. So you'll be his first patient. You'll be his
Here's what really happened. Mr. Metzler, we were going to give you a woman doctor.
I'm not Ryan Metzler. I'm not Ryan Metzler.
Metzler.
Wait, not Ryan Metzler, Lance? I thought that was your alter ego all this time.
Yeah, I thought I was on his channel. I didn't. Who the hell are you?
Yeah, shut your mouth.
Mr. Viking.
There you go.
Mr. Viking, sir. We were going to give you this woman doctor, but 20 years ago, to this very day, a gentleman walked in after playing a softball game, and he had these incredibly swollen. She's just never been the same. So we're going to give you this nurse practitioner.
Your swollen testicles scarred her for life.
Maybe that's her grievance. Let's ask her.
Yeah, we should call her. She's probably got a grievance or two.
So I had this guy come in today who said he was a Viking and undead, and then gave my nurse practitioner
hilarious. My wife's up. I gotta go. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
So, Boris, what have you played this week?
I'm actually, before he gets to that, I'm going to sign out. I wanted to hop on for a bit. We're going to go have some Little John time before he gets.
Oh, nice. What are you guys doing?
Today, we're Catholic, so today is the Feast of the Assumption. So it's like a high holy day. So we're going to make some cute arts and crafts and stuff about the Blessed Virgin Mary.
Oh, very cool. That sounds like fun.
Yep.
This weekend, I will be cracking open Adapt. I'm learning that. So thank you again.
Oh, nice. It's got sharks.
I know. It was an easy sell for you. Easy sell. You guys listening have not played Adapt yet, go check it out. It looks amazing. I'm going to play it this weekend, and I'll tell you guys what I think next week. But I have very high hopes for it.
It is a raging river of chaos that it is your goal to steer. So have fun with it.
Yep. When are we getting King's Armory 2?
That's a great question. So, hi, Scott. I just set the date. The plan is to launch on October 23rd. That's the first time I've said that publicly.
Nice. Well, there you go. You heard it here, folks.
October 28th is the 5-year anniversary of our original launch.
Wow.
So, but it's a Sunday, so I'm not launching on a Sunday. So I'm doing the 23rd instead. It's close enough.
Nice.
Now, is that second edition?
Yeah, it's going to be second edition.
Awesome.
So short version, minor updates, but like major upgrades. So we're going to upgrade the quality of the dice. It's going to include minis now. The towers are going to be thicker components. As far as rules go, almost nothing changes.
And when do you want me to paint those?
I got to get them printed first. But if you want to print a set of Peter, I can send them over to you if you want to, if you want to do
them for your Kickstarter. You know that. You know we're good.
Yeah, we'll chat.
All right.
Yeah, Lance is going to do one again too.
Nice.
Forrest,
one of my most favorite plays games.
Time.
My copy's worn out.
Want to do a TKA video on the second edition?
When was the Kickstarter? October 23rd?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do it.
Cool. It was one of your team members. You did a top 10 video sometime back, and one of your team members listed it in their top 10 of that year. I forget.
I don't know. I mean, I gave it a review. I really liked it.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
Well, have a good night, John.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Hi, Scott. Just in time.
Hey, John. Well, I missed the announcement. What are you launching?
King's Armory second edition is coming to Kickstarter October 23rd.
All right,
First time announced in public.
Yep. So now I got to stick to the date.
Yeah, you're screwed now. It's out there.
I know. It's like 98% complete. We have like all of the art done already.
I think that's the week before us, isn't it?
The minis are at like 85%. So we're gonna go like right to press immediately after. So
nice.
At least that's the plan.
One of my favorite games of all time. Made my top 25 list.
I need to play it.
Damn thing's worn out.
It's been sitting there for how many years?
5.
Only 5? Is that all? Have I known you? Well, here's the great thing.
Like forever,
I've known you for 5 years. That's it.
I just stopped asking you. I don't want to. I used to ask you like.
I know you were. I mean, I felt bad. Look, I really want to play it. It's just one of those things.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
It's hard to, if you were in my town, we would have played it by now.
For sure.
I mean?
Well, you can make that happen this November.
How?
Well, John, are you not going to BGG-Con?
No, because Scott tells me to go to PAX Unplugged every year instead.
I'm just being honest. John's stuff. It was all the accessory stuff at that point.
Yep.
Oh, true. Yeah, right.
I don't think that. I mean, that dice guy that came to BGG-Con made a killing, but he was one of the first, right?
Right.
And it was all wooden, like expensive.
No, you're
wood.
right. I mean, with the just off numbers alone, he'd have more opportunity to sell
now next
because
year,
of the different attendance.
Next year, John. Yeah. Then you could go to both.
You should, yeah. This year you could go to both if you could swing it because they're what, a week and a half apart or 2 weeks apart now?
Not 2 weeks. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks
Next year though. Next year we're going to be in the new hotel, so
nice.
Okay.
A little more space, a little more flexibility.
You know, I've been trying to support you for like 3 years, so.
Oh, I know. I want what's best for your business, though.
I appreciate it.
You know what I mean?
And I you so.
I would love
It's
to have
not you, it's me.
as a sort of selfish, thing. But
Sure.
yep. All right. Good luck with the launch. We'll talk before you launch.
Okay. Yep, definitely. All right. Take care.
See you,
If
John.
half an hour
Easy,
time
John.
after Richard goes to sleep, maybe I'll jump back on. But we might also rent Infinity War tonight because it's officially on.
I've already
Netflix.
watched it like 5 times.
I know I've got the Blu-ray
It's
sitting
so
right in front of me.
it's so replayable. I
Yeah, it
literally
is.
have it just playing on my side monitor, which is right
My
here.
wife hasn't seen it yet, so I better log out before.
Oh, yep.
Oh, okay,
I'll
yeah, go before we get into
It's such a
spoilers.
great movie.
Love you guys. All right, take
All
care.
right, see you,
See you,
bud.
man.
Have you
I've already-
seen any of the bonus footage yet?
I've watched the stupid thing. Like, was it last night or night before? I'm like, I'll put it on again. 2.5 hours, whatever, 3 hours. Then I'm like, you know what? I heard there's commentary on here. I started it over, and I watched the commentary, and the next thing I know, it's 5 a.m.
That's going to be
I've
me
watched
for the
it
next 3
twice
days.
in a
I'm going to
row.
watch the deleted scenes.
And
I'm
here's
gonna
the
watch
stupid thing.
commentary.
I was thinking about watching it again tonight because I got a lot of work to do. Actually, I can't stay on very long. I'm doing a major upgrade tonight, so
Yeah, we're all kind of multitasking. I'm scanning a bunch of Warhammer Champions cards in. Did you have you had a chance to play
I
that yet,
bought-
Aldi?
no, but I bought.
It is awesome. I'm
I
kicking myself
just-
out for not getting the Founders Pack. I played
the
a couple
Founders
games
Pack?
this weekend. I brought my stuff up to my local game store to run some demos and play with some people, teach them because they're trying to get a community for it, and everyone loved it. Like they just had a blast.
What's the Founders Pack?
The Founders Pack was a thing that they sold before the game came out. They had 1,000 of them, and it went all the way through the Sunday of Gen Con before they killed the pre-order for it. But basically, it was all 4 faction decks with an alternate foil champion of each, like 10 booster packs.
Boom.
You got 4 gold health track tokens that are real metal coins. You got an art print. You got what was it? There was a deck box. There was a book that also had a exclusive short story for the Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And then in the back, it had some blank pages for like deck lists and stuff. It was just a really nice put together package of stuff to get you started. Everything you needed to get came with 2 exclusive playmats that were specifically marked for founders. It was just a really good deal. And I kicked myself because I was waiting till after Gen Con because I knew I'd spend a lot of money at Gen Con, and of course they stopped selling them right on Sunday, and I was like, I should have just pulled the trigger. But I ended up buying a bunch of junk for the game. I bought all 4 starters and a bunch of boosters.
I bought a 4-pack. What is it? 4 starters total? Like
there's 4 starters.
And then I did a box.
Oh, cool. Did you get the metal?
I haven't opened it yet.
Oh, you haven't opened it yet?
I haven't gotten it yet.
When you do, we'll have to exchange scans because you apparently like every.
So if I scan your cards, what does that let me do?
So what happens is you scan your cards first to take ownership of them.
Yeah.
And then once you've got them, other people can scan them. And what it does is it kind of levels up your stuff. So sharing your stuff helps you, and you scanning their stuff helps them. And then there's special cards that come in the starter packs, and there's some, I guess, randomly in boosters that just gives you a free pack of digital cards. But every card you scan also goes in your digital library. So once you buy the card, you get them both ways.
I wish Magic would have done that. I had so many Magic cards.
Lightseekers did it, and they followed the same pattern, and I think it's brilliant because now you get the people that only want digital that are like, well, if I'm going to pay the same price, I might as well get the physical and then scan it digital. So then it gets them going to the local game stores to buy the stuff. It's a great model.
Cool.
And the whole sharing thing is even great because now there's community Facebook groups that are just sharing cards because you can scan them on the computer.
Yeah, so I scanned Tox's cards the other night.
Yep. I posted my cards in the one Facebook group, the 4 of my cards, and then you'll level up as other people scan them. So the more scans you get, the more that levels up.
Very interesting way of doing social. I don't even know. I mean, it's neat to do, but like, is it really adding anything to the?
I think so, because I think if anything, even if the actual scanning of the cards and the leveling up doesn't amount to a whole lot, it's bringing people together to talk about the game and maybe set up people in play groups. I mean, if it wasn't for the digital scanning, those groups probably wouldn't be nearly as many people. And even though most of the posts are just showing pictures of the cards for scanning, it's engaging and starting conversation. So I feel like it's in the right direction, and they can do a lot with this scanning technology and this AR stuff. Like,
I've
there's
actually
so
thought-
much they
like,
could
as
do.
soon as I saw it, I wanted to be like, okay, I'm gonna start this is a pie in the sky dream. I want to
Mhm.
start a code that publishers put on the boxes of their games. Like, I don't want it to be as big as what they've done on those Warhammer cards, because they're like, if you look at it closely, it's like
Right.
dots, right?
It's the black dots around the edge. Yeah, they're subtle, but you can definitely see them.
If I created like a digital ID mark for every board game in the world, and you could just click your phone on it and do like, hey, I want to put this in my collection, or I want to record a play, or I want to
Dude, that would be
do
awesome.
whatever. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the scanning app is great. I'm doing it now. I've got the app
Super
for
quick.
iPad. It's
It's so
super
fast.
awesome. I
Yeah.
literally hovered over a card, and in 3 seconds, it's scanned it in my
Yeah,
collection.
It's done. Yeah.
Whatever they've done, the way they've coded these cards is fantastic, because most times you're like trying to deal with QR codes, or you're having to type in a serial code number. This is fantastic.
Super stark. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a physical card, but like, it's the backs, right, with these little half moons or something on them.
What are you talking about? Like the Warhammer cards?
Yeah. It's on the
Yeah, I
back.
got
Right?
one right here.
Oh, it's on the front.
Yeah, it's on the front. Yeah, it's on the
Oh,
front.
I've only seen backs.
No, the card you're talking about, these.
Hold on, let me focus on you. Yeah.
Those aren't backs. These were
Oh.
special cards that were in the starter decks that basically are just a free booster pack of digital, and they're random ones of these in regular packs that will give you additional booster packs too. Otherwise, you're just scanning the card. So it's the front of the card. That's the front of the card that comes in the starter box.
Okay.
So yeah,
Cool.
it's pretty cool. Like I said, I have been out of collectible card games for a while now, and this year seems to be like the year of getting sucked back into card games, because I've got Warhammer Champions, which is probably number 1 on my list. Keyforge looks really interesting in the way they're doing their constructed deck philosophy. I'm kind of intrigued about that. I've got the Transformers one just because of nostalgia. I'm a Transformers geek. And then, of course, L5Rs, I've been slowly collecting and playing it. So it's just like the year of the card game for me, because up until this year, it was just L5R. And now I'm going to be in like 3 or 4 different card games. But so far, Warhammer's been my favorite by a long shot.
Cool. And it's a solid game. Like, the game underneath is really.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And, the problem is that when I first heard about it, it seemed very simple. You have 2 actions on your turn. There's no cost for cards. You just play, and you don't draw. Drawing is also an action, so you have to kind of decide how much you want to play versus draw. And I thought, oh, this sounds real simple. And then when I played it and realized how much strategy there is between knowing when to overplay your hand or sit back and just draw cards and kind of see what happens, and the way the lanes work, it's got a very interesting vibe, because your lanes are real important as to how you damage and absorb damage and play combos and stuff. At first I thought maybe it was going to be too simple, but once I demoed it with Jason from PlayFusion at the PhD trade show a couple months ago, and I only played 1 game, and I was super intrigued. And then at Gen Con, once I got my stuff and came home that weekend, I read through the rules again, refreshed up. And I spent 4 hours playing it at my game store this past weekend, and I was hooked. That was it. I was like kicking myself as soon as I played it there, and really got to like. I should have bought that damn Founders Box, and I should have bought more on.
I hate that feeling.
I should have bought more at Gen Con too, because like my local game store is low on product too, because it's selling. I mean, they're selling through tons of this stuff. So it's going to sell out quick. So there may be a slight delay before more stuff gets out. So if you're interested in this game, grab it now, because I already see online the quantities at some of the bigger stores are all in the single digits. So apparently it's taking hold all over the place. So yeah, definitely wishing I had bought more. I should have bought a couple boxes of it when I was there, but no, I mean, it's again, I told myself I wasn't going to get involved in a bunch of card games, but this one's legit, and I don't regret the stuff I've bought already. I'm wishing I'd bought more, so that's a good sign.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just don't ever get a chance to play 2-player very much.
No, I imagine not, because you're usually.
I mean, I do like collecting things though.
Yeah. Well,
That's an understatement.
Yeah, you won't be. I don't think I'll see you anymore this year, because you're not going to any trade shows, right? You won't be at Alliance. So.
Essen.
I won't be at Essen.
BGG.
Well, the next time we get together, we'll have to play. If you haven't had a chance to play, I'll bring a couple constructed decks, and we'll go toe to toe, and I'll teach you how to play if you haven't already played. I think you'd like it though. I think just the strategy and the way the gameplay works, I think you'd dig it.
Cool.
I definitely regret not getting it.
Yeah, well, you're going to be coming up soon anyway, so I'll run you through. I'll run you through the game as well. I think you'll enjoy it too. I mean, you like Warhammer. It's based off Age of Sigmar, so
Right.
you already have a built-in better knowledge of it, the mythos than I do. But I think the card game it's easy enough that you can get new people to play, but challenging enough that gamers will really digging out combos, figuring out how to get their blessings up faster, figuring out what cards to play in what lanes in order to not only combo off theirs, but to really do the most effectiveness to your opponent. It's again, like I said, there's a little bit of iconography to get over. There's quite a bit of it, so you have to kind of get over that hurdle. But luckily, the playmats that come in the game have all of that iconography right there with all the what they do, all the different symbols. So it really kind of helps get through that curve. But no, I think your crowd also, Rob, would like it since you have a pretty good Warhammer crowd. I think that they'll know, like you'll know more about these characters that I'm cracking open and looking at than I do because I have only played 40K. I've never played Warhammer Fantasy, so a lot of this stuff is new to me. And I did find a couple shark cards in here, so I'm already digging it. The Order has a couple shark troops, so I'm super stoked.
They actually had a card game some years ago. I think it was late 90s.
Did Warhammer have? I knew this wasn't the first, but it must be really a long time ago because I don't remember.
Yeah, it's really long. It was beautiful. The game just wasn't very good.
Well, the artwork on well, I mean, I don't know if this is reused art or if this is all new art, but the art on these cards are fantastic.
It's definitely new art because
Sigmar
was around.
What?
Can you throw up a character?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me find a champion.
Rob, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It was, I think, when I started talking, you weren't talking.
Oh, let me crack open a pack, and I can.
Oh, you got a pack.
You got some too for us? Here you go. There's some artwork for this character here.
There's a dragon. He's doing dragon stuff.
Yep. See, the cool thing is when you build decks, you build it around 4 champions. So you choose your 4 champions, and then you also choose the 4 blessings that they're going to try to unlock. But when you start the game, you randomly shuffle your blessings and put them face down, so you don't know which champions got which blessing. This one here is a Blood Throne of Khorne. That's the picture that I showed up. That's a Blood Throne. As I'm cracking packs, if I see any really cool pictures and artwork, but the artwork's fabulous. I was very impressed by that. For not being a huge fan of Warhammer, not nearly as much as like Rob or Lance, the artwork really captivated me. It started making me wonder if I'm missing out on something.
Do they have like the main character stuff, like the Bloodthirster and all that stuff?
Yeah. I actually, as soon as I get done scanning this pack, I will go into my digital and I'll read off some names. I guarantee you'll know a lot of them. Okay. But the four factions are Order, Destruction. We have the Order, Destruction, Chaos, and Death. Those are the 4 factions in the card game. So I know there's more factions than that, so I'm sure there's going to be lots of...
there's, 26 army types in the game or something like that.
Yeah.
Something.
So there's unlimited possibilities as to where they can go from here, but let's see. Let me find I'll find the champions are probably going to be named characters you guys would understand, so as soon as I find another one, I think I've been usually getting about 1 champion per pack, so... And I think there's like a dozen for each of the 4 factions, so the combination of 4 you choose is quite...
I just downloaded this app because of how much you just talked it up, Pete. I'm excited.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, I'll play with you once the digital's out. Hey, Aldi, that's another thing too. If you just scan the stuff you've got, we can play digitally. At the end of the month, I think the app goes live. So
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, we can play while we're on the Alaboom. We can sit and play Warhammer. No, it's like I said, it's solid. Like I have no doubt that Jason from Play Fusion is gonna do a lot of good things with this. I loved when he was at Upper Deck. He did a lot of good things there, and I have no doubt that they're gonna really push this product and do a lot of fun stuff with it. Organized play wise, future expansions. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been this excited about Warhammer in a long time. And I'm sure you and Lance and Rob can attest.
I love the Warhammer lore. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's the best.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, the sad part is I loved 40K. I loved the lore in 40K when I used to play. It was just so long ago, and I just got so tired of GW because when I played was when they converted from metals to plastics, and all that stuff became no good anymore. And all the tournaments we were running that they were officially sanctioned, we couldn't use half our stuff, and I just got so mad. I basically dropped them, and I have not really played anything other than other than like some of the Fantasy Flight GW products like Blood Bowl and stuff. I hadn't played Team Manager stuff. I haven't played any Games Workshop games since then. Relic, I think Relic and Blood Bowl Team Manager are the only GW games I've played other than the original Blood Bowl in like 15 years until now. But Warhammer Champions has won me over.
Yeah, there was absolutely no way I was getting into another CCG.
You'd
Good
like
for
this?
you. No, great for you. I'm sure I would love it, but I'm not going to get into something where I got to buy packs, and I'm just plus I have nobody to play it with. Like,
well, the digital.
So you could play it online.
You play it online.
Nice try. Not going to happen. So
It's all right. He'll become one of us.
I wish you all the very best. I hope it's amazing, and I hope you have a great fun time playing it. But it ain't going to happen for me.
This all stems from that doctor visit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
No, I'm kind of in a bad mood, but whatever. Try to remain positive. Just the idea that I just paid the frickin' doctor for nothing really annoys me. But
all right, let me go back and let me go into my collection here, and I'll read off some champions' names. You tell me if they're people you recognize. All right, so we'll go with order first. We've got Celestant Prime, Ishran Soulrender, Knight Azeros, Knight.
Yeah, these are all miniatures that I have.
Liberator Prime, Lochian Prince, Lord Aquilar, Lord Castellant, Lord Veritant, Vandus Hammerhand, Protector Prime, Lotan. Going into Chaos, I've got Archon, Blood Throne of Corn, Bloodthirster of the Unfettered Fury.
There's a Bloodthirster.
Yeah, Blood Reaver Chieftain.
My cousin Alec.
Lord of Change.
Yeah,
Scar Blood Wraith, Rune Marked Deathbringer.
Skulls for the Skull Throne.
Going into Death, we've got Barrowright King, Bloody Vampire Queen, Coven Throne, Hell Knight, Kelderek, the Knight of Shrouds, Nagash, Supreme Lord of the Undead, Neferata, Mortarch of the Blood. These are all just, let me see. And then Destruction, you got Bone Splitter Shaman, Grot Shaman Spider Rider, Kunin Grot Shaman, Loudmouthed Mega Boss, Massive Choppa War Boss, Riptooth Mega Boss, Sneaky Grot Shaman, Snazgar Stink Mullet. That's a great name. Holy crap! Yeah, here's a picture of Snazgar.
He's a fungoid Moonplan Grot is what he is.
That is awesome. I don't have that card yet. It's grayed out. I haven't scanned it yet, but that's one I'm going to want to build a deck around. Pretty cool stuff. And then there's all, like I said, it comes with champions, but there's also blessings, units, spells, and ability cards. And I'm sure most of it is flavor texted and themed off of stuff you guys probably know from the miniatures game. So.
I'm just glad they brought back the magic on the miniatures game.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Age of Sigmar. I think that property in general, no matter what it is, card game, board game, miniatures game, because isn't the Heroes of Outreach and all that stuff from Yellow, that Warhammer game, is that also fantasy or is that 40K?
It's 40K.
Oh, that's 40K. Seems like they're just making a real big push on branding Warhammer in all different facets. So it's good. Like I said, I remember loving the Warhammer lore, and if it's more accessible without having to be into the miniatures game, I'm happy about it. So board games, card games with Warhammer as the theme, role playing games, that I'm all in on that.
I'm wanting to play that new Talisman game. That looked pretty cool.
I actually got to play it. It's really good. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. What did they change? I've played old Talisman.
It's in the Talisman universe, but it's a
so it's not Talisman.
It's a bag building game where you have all the characters like bags of like kits in there.
And anything that you get, so any kind of special abilities or anything goes into your bag and carries over to the next adventure. So it actually levels you up. And it's really interesting.
Yeah, it looked interesting. It's a Pegasus Spiele.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't expect that company.
I know, exactly, right?
That's not a Warhammer esque
No.
kind of company.
It's kind of cool that they're licensing it out to all these different places now. That so you can get some very interesting games, I guess, to extend the brand.
Hey, whatever works, man. It's popular. People like it. If they can brand it on a bunch of different types of games to get different people interested in the universe, then they can start cross marketing it with their other stuff. It's like I haven't touched Warhammer miniatures in years, but this card game has got me interested in Warhammer again. And who knows, if I get that itch again, it would be something I would consider, but wouldn't have never considered it until I started cracking packs and reading cards and remembering about some of the cool stuff in the Warhammer universe. Yeah. So it's smart. I mean, Yellow's got a game coming out. There's the Heroes of Blackreach, which looks kind of cool. That's based off the Normandy engine, I think, right? Heroes of Normandy engine.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
looks really cool.
At Gen Con. I guess it didn't make it in time.
No, yeah, I went over and saw they had 2 copies, but they were prototype copies, not official production copies. Because that was on my list to pick up because I heard really good stuff about it. But I did get one thing from them. I got one of the. It's like a map pack for it, but they didn't have any of the actual game. So
there's a couple no-shows at Gen Con that were kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
Did anybody see the Dice Master stuff? Did the Dice Master stuff make it?
No, I don't play Dice Masters anymore.
They were doing a full Ultramarines Dice Masters game. That was yeah, I didn't see it.
It just is something that I just couldn't get into.
Yeah, I've not. I used to play Dice Masters. I had the first 2 sets. I had all the Marvel stuff and a little bit of the DC stuff when that came out, but I just lost interest. And it wasn't even the cost, because that for a collectible game at $1 a pack, it was, that was insignificant. It was more than
a lot of stuff for $50.
You could
Ultramarines is not
like $50 to $75. If you got lucky, you could get a full set of it. So
the Ultramarines game is not collectible. It's all, you get everything.
See, now that may be interesting. If I just stuck with that version of Dice Masters and just bought that box set, what's it, like $50 box set?
Probably.
I would probably consider playing, because I thought that the game of Dice Masters was fun, but it was just more the time consumption trying to get it all. I always thought Dice Masters should have been sold as sets, kind of like the way they're doing with Warhammer.
Yeah,
they've done a Marvel set, a DC set. If they'd done it that way, I felt it would have. Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to. The thing about collectible games is the upside is so huge if it's a popular one that it outweighs any negativity if you're a hit. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm interested. If it is a self-contained set, I could deal with that. Absolutely, that would be a way for me to still play Dice Masters without having to collect. As long as they don't change expansion stuff into collectible, if it stays as a full. I would suspect if they start that way, they can't. Yeah. Although, even if it was like $15 like collectible.
When Netrunner went living card game, I was so happy because I was like, I'd like to just see all the cards. I want to see see how they all work.
That's kind of why I'm glad
they're going back to collectible, or maybe I don't know if that's for sure.
I liked it when FFG took over L5R because I knew it would be LCG format, which makes it easy now. I buy the core set every once a year when they come out with a new big box set, and then I buy those little $15 expansion packs, about 10 of those a year, and I've got everything, and I don't have to pack chase, and that was nice. But like I said, that I don't mind having 1 or 2 collectible games. I just don't want 16. And so I'm glad L5R is non-collectible. That makes it easy for me to do. And I like that Keyforge won't be, that you just buy the starter and a few decks. And yeah, you can still buy more decks to get more cards, but you're not rare chasing. You're just trying to find a deck you really like. But I think Warhammer and Transformers will probably be the only 2 collectible games I have. And Transformers is more nostalgia. Like I said, it's a kid's game. My daughter could play Transformers with me. It's very basic, but Warhammer is definitely not
kind of gameplay.
Yeah, I've got a starter. It's all right. Like I said, the introductory rules are like horrible though, because the introductory rules basically make it I attack, you attack, I attack, you attack. We whoever loses first. I mean, it's super entry level. But the advanced rules, they're a little bit better. But again, there's only the 2-player starter out. There's no boosters, so I've only seen 40 or so cards, and it's all Autobots. So you're fighting Autobots versus Autobots. So when the Decepticon starter comes out in September, it'll probably be a little bit better for as far as making it.
I assume they probably have to. It was just a taste.
Yeah, and September will be the Decepticon starter, which will be a bigger taste, and then either end of September or October, all the boosters will come out, and then it'll go full bore. But at least when the 2 starters are out, you can take the 2 starter decks and combine them to make a decent deck for play. Right now, they're just very vanilla, but it's not bad. Like I said, it's cheap. Like surprisingly for that IP, I think the starter deck was $15. I don't know how much boosters are, but getting both starters for $30, that's a pretty low entry point. Same with Warhammer. The starters for Warhammer are only $15
I think that's
too.
sort of the entry point now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good entry point because starters used to be 20, 25, depending on what games. I know L5R with their starter boxes or starter decks used to be 20 to 25, depending on which set and how many cards. So I'm happy to see those prices coming down a little bit, making it a little easier for people to get in. And honestly, the sealed decks for Warhammer were really good. The first 2 times I played it, it was sealed. It was constructed deck, and they were great out of the box. So.
Did any of you guys hear about Legendary X-Files stuff?
Yep. Legendary.
What happened there?
So what happened was they announced the big release at Gen Con. It was the big kickoff party for X-Files. They said they had X amount in stock per day. I think it was like 100 to 150 per day. So people flocked and bought it on Thursday. And then at some point, either late Thursday or early Friday, they realized that whoever proofed the printing of the cards forgot that this was not a Marvel Legendary game, but this was a Fox X-Files game, and all of the cards were stamped with the Marvel logo, which is bad news when you have a licensee of Fox and a licensee of Marvel. They don't want their stuff mixed, so they had to yank everything else off.
Yeah, that's just a legal thing, I'm sure. Yeah,
and the worst part is, I'm assuming that if that wasn't noticed, then that means all of the stuff that was sent to distribution is probably also misstamped, which means that game's probably going to have to be completely reprinted, redistributed later this year. Because I doubt that Gen Con stuff was a special allotment. I'm sure it's part of their distribution allotment. So, yeah, bad news for them. Whoever was in charge of proofing, writing off on that proofing's probably got a lot to talk about to the Marvel execs and the Fox execs.
Didn't FFG do something like that back in the day with like the Star Wars thing? I can't remember.
I don't know. I didn't hear about it. It may have been before I ever paid attention to stuff like that. I don't recall it, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, stuff like that happens all the time, but usually it's not with that big of a licensee that it would make that big of a stink.
Yeah, for some reason I thought like when Imperial Assault came out, like it had something on there that like it had like the wrong logo on it or something along those lines. I can't remember, but I mean, I remember talking to Bobby Stickle about it back in the day. What do I know?
No, I don't remember it, but it's possible because I mean I know it's happened multiple times. I mean, didn't Upper Deck also have an issue when they relaunched Versus System and called it the Living Card Game, and FFG made them stop selling it because they had the Living Card Game
that's a name
written right on the box. I've got one of those boxes actually in my back room. I got one before they were forced to not sell it.
Ooh, a collector's item.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah, that's like, yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? You know what? One of the things that I was thinking about that like is like that really, really stinks is that. Battlestar Galactica was it's one of the best games I've ever played. You know, it's just it really did the hidden trader thing really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
And it had and the fact that like basically like nobody can make it anymore. You know, because the rights for it is just gone.
What's up with the rights? Why can't they make it anymore?
Because the show's not around anymore, and it lapsed, and you know, it just like whatever. I mean, maybe I don't know. I mean, somebody has to own the IP somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah, it seems so silly that like a game that was like that popular and that how like you know it was so well liked.
Wasn't Ares doing that?
Yeah, I was about to say, did you guys see that the Dune license is coming back?
Dune? Like the original movie Dune?
Yeah. Gale Force 9 got some licensing to do
Oh, wow.
RPG, I think, and board games. I think
They're doing a miniature game.
the miniature game.
Interesting.
dude.
And isn't Ares doing Battle?
Oh yeah, Battlestar Minis. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a Wings of War type, with the curves and but it has a 0G kind of rules set added to it, so you can rotate in space.
I did an interview. It sounded interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I must
Various
have it. I
games.
must have it all.
Master of the Galaxy is my favorite game I've played from Gen Con. Like 15 or 20 of them so far.
I got that sitting on my shelf. I might play it this weekend.
It's if you like 1 hour 4X, like
1 hour. Yeah.
I've been hearing super good things about Hail Hydra as a good bluffing deduction game. I've actually going to crack that open this weekend and play it.
Hail Hydra.
Yeah, they said that it's there's the early reviews have been really positive, so I'm curious to see if they live up to it, because Spin Masters for me is kind of an unknown thing. Like I played 5 Minute Marvel, and as an entry level gateway game, it's not bad, but as a Marvel title, it's all right. But Hail Hydra
all right.
is apparently completely different and has a lot of buzz about it.
I think it was someone said it was sort of like the what was that game that came out with the biker gangs?
Sons of
Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy?
Yep.
I think that was the system. Maybe I could be. I don't know for sure.
I haven't played that, so I wouldn't know anyway.
Sons of Anarchy, that's a really, really good worker placement game. But like it died on the vine. Well, I mean, I think
Is it because of the
what was
IP?
it?
Is there just not a big enough crowd for that?
no. I think that it was like everybody who played board games that liked that show bought it, and then they realized they had like 10,000 more copies. know, Yeah, so it was just kind of like, oh, there aren't 8 million people that like this game. But that's kind of what I mean. I can't tell you exactly what Gale Force 9 does with their decisions, but it seems like they just print a ton of everything that they make. Like they just load it up. So I don't know. That's just my impression, I guess. I what do I know? I don't know anything. That huge tall guy. I can't think of his name right now. I didn't see him at Gen Con. I always see him at Gen Con, but I didn't over at the Gale Force 9 area. The guy who kind of runs the show or whatever there for him.
I forgot his name. I've met him once, but I don't really. He's not like a friend. I see him every once a year, maybe.
But
so what's up with the Rumble Slam? Because I missed out on that one too, and I heard people saying that.
Game.
Yeah.
Yeah, some guy was trying to buy our copies out of the Hot Games Room. I was like, I basically made a rule with myself never to sell any games out of the library, just because of things like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now you're mentioning it, so I'm like, I made the right decision.
So is it coming out soon, and what's it about? Because I like myself wrestling games, and I'm kind of mad that I didn't find it before they sold out.
What the game is?
It's a game.
Yes, it's a game, and there's little figures with no. But what happens is instead of trying to pin people, you're trying to throw them out of the ring.
Okay.
And the way it works, it's not glitchy. It's not slow. It's just very quick.
A miniature game or card game? I thought
it's a miniature game.
Okay, it's a miniatures game. Okay.
It's a miniatures game, and it's great. Matter of fact, Lance, I tried to get you to go take a look at it.
Yeah, I never got over because I'm dumb.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
I cut.
So it has.
I did a video where I just cut like vicious promos, and I painted the guys up, and I was sitting there and just in front of the camera, you're doing okay, brother. This is, you're going on and on.
Well, those miniatures don't look bad at all.
No, they do. They look pretty.
No,
good.
they are really nice.
Those look pretty cool.
And they're fantasy. It's fantasy wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like, I just see now Orcs Goblins. So it's not traditional WWF wrestling.
You do have some guys. You got like your Hulk Hogan looking guy, your Macho Man guy.
So it's like Blood Bowl, the wrestling game.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it.
I can dig that.
What's the name of the game?
Rumble Slam.
I never even heard of it until someone mentioned it at Gen Con. And I was actually by their booth and didn't realize where they were and looked for them the next day and didn't have time. And I was kicking myself because you said it wasn't super expensive either, right? Was it like maybe like $75 to get into the game or something?
Yeah, it's not expensive.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how much you want to add and stuff like that.
The minis look really good.
Yeah. Oh, the painted ones look super.
There's a lizard man team.
Let me go see if I can pull mine out.
Donkey Kong.
That's awesome.
Panda.
Oh, the Kung Fu Panda.
Neat.
How many packs did you crack open, Forrest?
1.
Oh, just one. I posted on
Jason
Facebook.
himself.
I posted my Champions friend link. If you want to link up with me, we'll play some games once the app goes live.
I felt like that kid from Willy Wonka right there. How many chocolate bars did you open, Forrest?
Hey, I only got about 14 packs here.
Is this a Macho Man ripoff right here?
Yeah, that looks like Macho Man. The miniatures look fantastic, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they're very well painted to make them look even better. But
Macho Man. Bonesaw's ready.
Bonesaw's ready.
Such good stuff.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Yeah, Rob and I.
There's like what is that? Like that's cool.
What's cool?
I don't know. They're just like all the different teams that I'm seeing on here. Like there's
So it's kind of like Chaos Ball in a way where there's different thematic teams for these different wrestling factions or something.
There must be.
It does look cool. I'm really regretting not getting a copy. Hopefully it comes out
sure
soon.
You'll get it. Yeah, you'll get it.
Does it have a release date anywhere on their website? Or on the BGG page? Does it say when it's coming out?
This just in: will not sell copies to Peter Shire.
It said it was released in 2016.
What? Is it already
Am I looking
out?
at the right game?
Rumble Slam. I thought that was it. Rob didn't seem to. Let me Google it and see if it's already out. I may be ordering some right now.
Let me see. Rumbleslam.com.
Shop Rumble Slam on Amazon.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those game companies are super unethical when you ask them if this is new or not. I found that I have to be so specific when I'm doing interviews.
Come out this year.
Is this new or upcoming? And they'll be like, yeah, it's a new game. And I'll be like, oh, it came out in 2015.
Right on their website. You can buy it now. It's in euros. It's $45 for the starter box. €7 for the single figs. There's a Rumble Slam Deluxe ring for $15.
That's pretty awesome.
That looks really awesome. Oh, damn it. It's all available, but it's in Europe, which means it's going to be expensive to ship over here. I wonder if anyone's carrying them. I wonder
won't Rob like on Miniature Market, maybe?
Yeah, I was just thinking to check in Miniature Market and then check CSI, check between the two and see if I can find one that has it local or in the States.
You have a lot of minis.
It looks pretty cool.
If you find some place that sells it, let me know.
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
Man, you could go broke on this game. There's
a lot of stuff for us. Yeah, that's the only
problem. Dirty ring. They have a clean ring.
They have a dirty ring.
Yeah, it's like got all dirt on it. And stuff.
That sounds like a bad porno. The dirty ring.
I guess it's like a playmat. That's cool.
Not at Miniature Market.
This is a Shopify.
Why would it be?
What'd you say, Aldi?
It's a Shopify store, so.
Oh no.
I just know their system. We use the same system. Ogress. Cool. That's neat.
You're cool.
Too many games, not enough money.
Or time.
You know what? Can we
It's
air some
more.
grievances? I got a grievance there.
Can we
Go
talk
for it. We already passed grievances, but you can go in.
Yeah, go for it.
I want to talk about Everdell, though.
What's that?
Everdell, the board game.
Oh, I want to get that one on the table.
It's really good. Anyway, go for it.
Nobody ever believes me. I told everybody it was a great game. Everybody's like, "Well, no, it's Danny Arrington. It might suck." Oh.
I never heard that.
I've tried like 15 to 20 games since Gen Con.
You're what?
Most of them have been very good to great. I think I've had like 4 stinkers, and 2 of the stinkers from the same company. So my grievance is Cranio Creations bringing crap to Gen.
What?
Yeah, just say it like it is, baby.
That's a Summon partner. What are you talking about? Oh no, that's isn't it Cranium?
Cranio
Wh-
Creations. I picked up 2 of their games, and they both were just like, "What? Who? Why make this game?"
What games were those?
Hank, which actually just posted a review and made me think of this Cravens, which is this really simple Yahtzee-esque roll dice and try and win. It's just minimalist components. And then this other car racing game, which I played with a bunch of kids in my class, target demographic, like super simple family game, and they're just like, eh. And I was like, oh yeah, this is not the best. They just felt like 2 games that had no business being made. So yeah,
What did you say the first game was? Hank?
Penk, Penk.
Oh.
Sounds inspiring.
I will say though, the game that came out at Essen though, fantastic. Tale of Pirates, the app, Legacy S game, that one is damn good.
I'm actually looking forward to playing Pantone. For as simple as that game is, it looks really fun.
They need like 100 more cards for it.
They need
I'll
like
make my
5
own cards
more
up.
cards.
How hard would it be to just say your own stuff and just write it on a piece of paper and then try to make it
Yeah,
happen?
you could do it. The problem is like the first 100 that you will think of are in the game.
You know
Yeah.
what though? You could easily just take a deck of times up cards, and use that for Pantone. You take the people cards from Times Up, and there's your game. Boom! You've got an extra
Try it.
500
See how it
cards.
goes. I'd be curious to know because all the stuff that has in the game has iconic coloring.
Yeah, I mean it's
all the
Yeah.
low hanging fruit.
Yep.
it's still really
It's
fun.
still good. Yeah, the game is great. Play it as many times as you can.
And I'm
So you
sure
play
if it sells
routine.
well, there'll be expansion packs with more people.
I hope so.
Yeah, you might
More
run out of
colors,
things
too.
though.
You can't
Yeah.
run out of people.
Well, yeah, but you can run out of things that actually are representative. I mean, what would be something that would delineate George Clooney from Matt Damon for you? I mean, nothing,
Yeah.
right? It's just like
No, but you've got a vast amount of comic book superheroes, pop culture icons. I mean, just
But,
taking
okay.
Marvel and DC alone, there's
Those are in the
thousands
game.
of comic
No,
book
let me dispute that though, because of the fact that how many of those are universally known?
at least several hundred from each side. Marvel, DC.
Well, but if you ask Joe Blow on the street,
Yeah, you could
Think
make
of
your
Captain
own
America
version
looks
of the
like.
game.
yeah, I mean you could make it a theme thing of like, oh, this one is our whatever. You could call it the this is the Fantastic Four one or something like that. So people would know what they're getting into. But I mean, as far as like real people and like, because I mean, the thing is, for a real person, it's like they have to have something really definitive. Why is there an Abraham Lincoln card? Because somebody can put a top hat on somebody. Can put a stovepipe hat. And that's why people are like, oh, But I mean, you can't do that with
Yeah.
the vast
I
majority.
wonder
of
if they've tapped out what they could do.
And there's
Pretty
got to be more
quickly.
than 100, though. If there's only 100 cards in the game, or however many there is, I'm
I
sure
think
there's
there's
more.
more than 100, but maybe it's you go through them. So you get dealt 2 every turn.
Mm-hmm.
You see them. You may want to just skip that rule and just deal 1 to everybody. And if someone says, "I don't know what this is," then give them a second one.
Yeah, that may be a good
Then you won't
idea.
see all the cards. Because once you see a card, your brain starts thinking about, "Oh, how would I draw that?"
I just would think with all the cartoon characters and superheroes and that you could come up with at least double the amount of cards that are currently in the game.
But there were even still some things that like people didn't know they didn't know who they were, and so that's like obviously then even they have like already, kind of spelunked the depths already.
You play 3. You're gonna get 6 cards in a game. You'll see 6 of the cards in one game.
And how many cards is in the game?
I'm looking, but it's not right.
Like
now.
150 or something like that?
It needs to at least be twice as much that's on there, in my opinion.
It's got like 5 plays in the box, and that may be enough.
Yeah, how many? Yeah, I guess unless you really, really dig it, you're not going to play it more than half a dozen times. Maybe they figured that would be enough before the average user will put it on their shelf and then maybe not play it for 6 months and then bring it out and then it's kind of playing it all over again.
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't say.
It's a fun little game, and it's definitely a cool
It is
idea.
really good. Yeah, I get it. I mean,
I've got it already. I got it. I picked it up at Gen Con.
and the color cards are great.
Yeah, they basically went to Home Depot and stole a bunch of color swatches.
And this is licensed, man. They probably paid a lot for that license. Pantone ain't cheap. You ever bought a Pantone book or looked at the prices? There's
Did they
100
license it from Pantone, or they just use the
130
name?
Not to be weird, but why would I?
You work for a game publisher.
Burn.
Well, I mean, I guess you don't talk to China. That's not your job.
No, he's not in production.
But when you're telling, like, hey, I want this piece to be blue, like, well, okay.
Shark card finally pulled one. Enraged Apocalypse. It's a shark warrior.
Oh, how was the Meg?
The Meg. Let's get into a grievance here.
No.
No, actually, I enjoyed the Meg. So I will give my official review now. I've been saving it. I haven't posted it or anything. I was saving it for the show. I was going to wait till a little later, but since we're on the topic now, let's do it. So The Meg was a really good summer popcorn film. It had aspects from the book. If any of you have read the actual Steve Alton books, the first two books in particular, but there's scenes that go all the way up into the fourth book from the movie. It's got the characters' names and it's got the basic plot, but honestly, it was not one of those great movie to book adaptations. It really took just the basic premise and then just went off on its own, which is fine because I kind of knew that going in that it wasn't going to be a direct, because it was rated PG-13. I knew it wasn't going to be like the book, 'cause the book was pretty graphic. There was a lot of gruesome death scenes and a lot of heated love interests and stuff going on. And I figured if they're making it PG-13, I kind of went in with low expectations because most shark movies these days are low expectations. But the movie was good. I would rate it a 7.5. I've seen it twice. I'm going to go see it one more time next weekend. May affect my rating by a half a point, so it'll either be a 7 or an 8. Certainly not dethroning Jaws as my favorite shark movie by a landslide. Jaws is heads and tails over, but
Is Jaws your 10?
Jaws is my 10.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I am happy to see that it's doing well. It did 144 million in its opening weekend, and critics were predicting 30 to 40 million opening weekend worldwide, and it obliterated that. They've already greenlit a sequel, and the movie wasn't bad. And now that I know the kind of movie it's going to be, I'll go in with a different perspective, and I probably will be a lot more like, I sound like I'm unhappy, but I'm not. It was a good movie. It was a good, solid movie that brought shark movies kind of back on the map again. It's so far and away better than the Sharknado crap. It's more in line with the Shallows open water movies, but with a much higher budget. So it gave them the front line where we're like when the Shallows came out and Open Water came out, and those movies, they were like movies in the middle of the year that just kind of snuck in with other ones. This one was the movie, and it'll probably be the movie for a few more weekends before it gets dethroned. So super excited. I was happy. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it enough to see it twice. I'm going to see it one more time. For a non-shark enthusiast like myself, they probably rate it higher because it was a funny, action-packed shark movie with good CG and effects. But there's a little bit of corny dialogue. I think that comes from it being made in China, so there's probably some issues with how the American audience perceived it. But it's like crushing it worldwide. So, like I said, a solid 7.5 or so. That's probably where it'll end up for me.
Now, Pete, you said that there was some love interest things that were left out of the book. Was it the shark and a beluga whale that would have drew a hard R?
No. Although the shark did tear in half a beluga whale. No, though the main character, Jonas, was in a heated love triangle in the first couple books between his ex-wife, the daughter of in the book, the daughter of the rich guy who's running the institute, and then this kind of spy lady that's part of this other, like I said, this part's not even in the movie. The third lady's not even a part of it. There was like a love triangle between his ex-wife, his new love interest, and this girl who was trying to seduce him. And that's not even in this now. They have some of the characters, but they're so different from the book that they're just in name alone. It's pretty much the only references back to the book.
And the shark was spreading rumors or something?
The shark was definitely spreading rumors, the rumor of death.
Just talking crap.
Is there a high body count? Because there was in the preview, there's like There's like so many people in the water when that thing
for a
hits the water.
PG-13 movie, but because I mean, and this is why they were able to get it to PG-13. It's because it's a megalodon and it can swallow people whole. There's no gruesome
No,
death
they're
scenes.
gone. They
It
just
swallows
disappear.
somebody and they're gone, and that's basically 90% of the death scenes you see, other than when he attacks a few of the big sea creatures. It's just chomp and the person disappears and you just know that they're gone. There's no like gruesome ripping arms and cutting people in half type stuff that was apparently originally in the movie. I heard the first cut of the movie was a rated R movie that had a lot of blood and gore, and they wanted the PG-13 rating, so they chopped that out. So I'm praying that there's a Blu-ray
there's gotta be
editor's cut that has all that, kind of like how they did with the Daredevil movie when they had the R-rated Daredevil version of the original movie that had all the really nasty fight scenes. I'm hoping that the Blu-ray version of the Meg has a director's cut with some really nasty, violent shark on shark action.
Hey Rob, would you go pay to watch 50 Shades of Grey Sharks?
Yes,
I would.
I would.
That's courtesy of
something
Fat 44 in the
would
chat.
be interested in, and I just go, "Oh, how could he do that to her? Look at that shark."
Yeah, so I'm happy. Again, it's like an extension of Shark Week. So people are still talking about sharks now.
What movies are coming out? Is this summer movie? Is it done? Like, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
When is Glass coming out? You guys see the preview for Glass?
No.
Yes.
Oh my god! I just watched that. I didn't even see it. Like, I knew it came out at Comic-Con, but I didn't want to spoil it. But I had to.
It looks
good.
It looks good.
But I guess summer's done.
Yeah, for the big blockbusters. Yeah, the only movie we've got to look forward to now, and for the rest of this year, would be Captain Marvel and Episode 9.
Okay.
Oh,
You
God.
bite your
Captain Marvel
tongue.
doesn't come out till February.
Is Captain
I,
Marvel
for one,
next
look
year?
forward to ripping apart Episode 9.
I thought
Are
Captain
you going to be
Marvel
on
was
there
the
day
end of
one?
this year.
Day one, Lance. Episode
It's
1, Episode 9.
Oh, I'll go day one, so I can tell everybody to not go.
I thought Captain Marvel was like a December movie or a November movie. I didn't
No,
realize it was
February.
pushed back into February.
I'm trying to remember what
I finally found a theater nearby that I like going to.
With the
Venom.
nice seats and stuff.
It's got the full seats. You can order food, and it's good food. It's not like crap. And they kick people out. Like, or they enforce their rules. Like,
Nice.
no phones, no talking. It's Alamo Draft House.
Well, yeah, I've heard the
Nothing
Alamo
went up.
Draft House is like the bomb diggity.
There's literally a very serious, like, we will eject you.
Yep, it's
Pre-trailer.
actually been updated.
You, sir, have too much butter on your popcorn. Out now.
Not
Captain
enough
Marvel was
butter.
March 8th, 2019. I could have sworn that was this end of this year.
Well, did you hear that? Like when they announced that season 8 of Game of Thrones isn't going to come out until April of 2019, how everybody lost their minds. They're just like,
Yeah,
just-
People will care when it comes out. Like, I've already lost interest.
are you
I'm sure it'll
insane?
regenerate as it gets closer. The
Maybe.
anticipation.
I guess
I'm
I'll have
sure
to go
it'll-
watch everything again to make sure I could remember what happened.
I'll just rewatch the last 5 episodes of season 8, and that'll be all I need. I remember the story well enough.
I remember season 8. It was pretty dramatic, so it's easy to remember those
6 episodes and
like 2-hour episodes.
then like they're all each one's gonna be like 2 hours long. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Which
Well, hopefully we're all still friends then, and we can talk about it.
Yeah.
I just
2
look
hours.
forward to the actual good telling of the story when the books come out.
The proper telling.
The proper telling of the story, yes.
I do not see
2040.
US distributor for Rumble Slam. It looks like it's only available on their website or by third-party sellers.
Bummer.
So am I the only one that played Everdell? Or you played Lance, right?
I played it. I did a video
Yeah.
for it.
It's very good.
Yeah,
It's
I said
a
that
worker
already.
placement game and Seven Wonders-esque. And you're building up a tableau like a city. And I think there's there's like 40 or 50 different unique characters and buildings. So all the buildings are paired with a character. And so if you play the building, the character comes out for free. And there's great combos. Like, it's got all kinds of cool combo potential. Very good.
Yeah, I gotta read those rules, get that to the table.
It's not hard. It's not hard.
Yeah, the actual like learning of the game, there isn't much to it, but the
The depth of the game is what you Because you want to know like every single character in the game. You're like, oh, I want to build the cemetery. What does the gravedigger do? And then you won't see the gravedigger for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and you're like, oh well, now I don't really care about the gravedigger. Like you have to know the cards a little bit, I think, to really play it well.
Yep, I'd agree with that.
But there's no way to unless I'm mistaken, there's no way to draw a bunch of cards. I don't remember. Is there? Yeah, no, maybe there is a way to draw cards. But your hand fills up really quickly, so you have to get a way to figure out how to get cards out of your hand.
We that was a game that TMG almost had Everdell. It wasn't so much a pass on. It was one of those things where we didn't. Yeah, well, we were trying to figure out. I mean, and I wasn't part of this determination portion, which and we don't look at it whenever we don't publish a game. We don't look at like, oh, we totally screwed up on that, because we would have gone like a different direction. And of course, you say that. You don't say, damn it, just like, but we were trying to make that into a game that would fit into one of our smaller boxes. We weren't going to go like super like the way that we just weren't going to go the same way that that GameSloot did, or whatever company is
Starlight.
Starlight or whatever. That just wasn't how we were going to go, and then we couldn't figure out how we were going to do that, and so I
mean, it could be done with cubes and stuff, but it's definitely nicer when you have physical bits that look like what you're collecting.
Oh yeah, I mean,
that's to the fun of it.
No argument on my part. I mean, I think that they really, obviously, they did a really great job with it, and as always, we're just happy that the game got published, and so people can enjoy it, right? So there you go. Yeah, I will say this: we picked up a really, really cool time traveling game at Gen Con, and this is weird, and I'm not saying this. This isn't like a scoop or anything like that. First, already the design already tweeted it out and showed pictures of it and stuff like that. But I'll say this: like when we
be right back.
When we get shown a game, like one of the toughest people in the world to convince is Andy, our like one of our developers. And he and Seth and Daniel are kind of like the guys that we get our input. I get my input and stuff like that, but they're the decision makers.
They're the deciders.
Yeah. And it was one of those things where Andy, like, it was one of those things where we're like, well, this is pretty cool, and we said, can we, maybe we could take this prototype back with us, kind of thing, and then Andy said, you know what, actually, we should just probably sign this one, and that was like, that never happens for us, so it must be something. I didn't get a chance to play it, but
must be something awesome.
Yeah, it must be something.
I think time travel's been done right in board games. I mean, there's games out there, but like, I feel like the definitive good, time travel has not been made.
Well, I mean, and maybe now it will. Yeah. So there's that then. Oh,
cool.
Hey Aldi, did you get, or did anybody try that Western Legends?
It is fantastic, dude. If you
I'm sending you one, Rob.
Oh, cool.
I have one for you.
Why don't you have one for me?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Reasons.
Wow.
Lance, you gonna paint it?
Yeah, I'll paint it.
Oh. But I already made a deal with Rob.
Oh, okay. So let me get this straight. I call your bluff. And you're like,
I'll give you something else. What do you want?
Here. I'll tell you a story. When I was young, when I was like 15 or 16, my mother told me.
Nothing nice to say. What? Oh.
No. My mother told me, she's like, it's summer. You're 16 years old. You have a car. You need to get a job. You need to get a job. You're not gonna sit around the house all summer. And I didn't want to get a job. And she was like, and I was like, I'll give you a deal. She said, if you go get a job You don't have to mow the lawn.
Oh,
That
I've
was
heard
my
the story.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
I know the
totally
punchline.
jump on that.
I know the punchline.
Yep. Yeah.
Get
yeah,
money,
so-
get out of yard work, done.
Yeah, so I went out and I got a job at a crappy little burger joint, and I got my job, and I still had to mow the lawn.
Ah, fucker.
Just like,
Yep.
What a liar!
I
Dirty liar.
hard work.
So we have to play this game at some point.
Life's too
So
short.
that's what.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
We
happened.
played that in the hot games room. It
Yeah,
cleared
I
the
was-
room. It cleared the room out instantly because it was at midnight, right? And we're trying to get everybody out, and we just
Uh-huh.
started. This was not the reason why we cleared everybody out, but like playing that game made everybody leave.
Why is it
It's
bad?
Imagine saying "dude" at the top of your lungs 500 times in a row.
I bought it sight unseen. I saw
It's
it.
very
just made me
fun.
think
I
forced.
almost I died laughing. It was so funny. I was playing with I for sure 100% thought I was matching Adam, who's one of our Team Geek guys, and like literally I felt like I'm saying the same exact word as you, and we'd flip our card over and it would not match.
Ugh.
Like, what are we like? It happened so many times. It's infuriating. So you basically have to try to find your match.
Okay.
Like flip one of those cards over. Just hold up a card to the camera.
Okay.
How would you say that,
Dude.
dude?
Dude.
And
But I see
and then
there's
if we
W.
both match, we both have to say sweet, and you say sweet, and then we show each other our cards, and if they match, we get a point. We put that card in the point.
Oh,
box.
dude, this seems like a blast, especially after a night
awesome.
of drinking.
It is so good. It's
I
very
gotta
fun.
get that. That sounds fun.
That's the whole
Um,
game. Is there just like a bunch of weird pronunciations of dude in this
There's
deck?
6 in the deck. Show the one with the tie dye.
The one with the tie dye.
Yeah.
Tie dye. What color? There's like 6
It's-
different colors.
There's one tie dye one. Oh, each player gets their own deck. They're all the
Oh,
same
okay.
cards. Everybody gets a deck. It's like
Right.
it's basically
So you have to say "dude" in
Happy
some
salmon.
sort of like in a accent or like "dude."
well, show the card.
Hold on, I'm
and then
looking for one that's just not normal dude. Oh,
There's
I've gotten
6 decks.
backwards.
There's
That's
6
why.
decks. Yeah, you got to make one deck of all the colors or separate
deck.
colors.
Okay, so there's
It's
dude.
like Happy Salmon. Yeah, no, that's
So-
dude.
Dude.
And then there's dude.
Dude.
Then there's dude.
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 And then there's dude.
Yep. So
And then we
you understand
got-
now, right?
Dude.
Dude. Dude.
And then we'll see what else we got here. We've got
It seems like it'd be remarkably easy. I don't mean to.
Nope.
not at 2 a.m.
So that version is not easy.
And not if you're Cheech.
Like I literally thought I was matching Adam 100%. It was like looking in a mirror, and like we were wrong.
I like the game
Um,
already. It's stupid.
So,
That's why I
did you
like
get
it so
did you
much.
get did you get
Stupid.
more dude? Did you get more dude?
More dude?
Yeah, there's another box called more dude.
Oh no, I only saw this one. This was the only one.
Okay,
they
so
had.
more dude. I think it's fun, but it's way easier.
Okay.
So it's dude as a robot, dude as a pirate, dude as a
Oh, so
cowboy, dude as a surfer. Yeah, that one was way easier. The original is good, like more challenging. And so imagine 8 people sitting around saying "dude" pretty much at the top of your lungs because no one you're trying to be heard.
It's like Cheech's house.
no, that's dude past the Doritos.
But I love the fact that you have to say "sweet."
Sweet.
If you say "sweet," you match and show the card.
That's pretty funny.
Is there a Jackie Treehorn card? No, Jackie Treehorn. It's fun.
Jackie Treehorn.
You guys, yeah, none of you guys were there for that game. Anthony was in that game.
Dude.
Jackie Treehorn treats objects like they were women, man.
Oh my
I
God.
haven't watched Big
I need to
Lebowski
watch
in a
that.
while.
I think that movie's how many years now has it been? Movie's been out for a
God.
long time.
I mean, I tend to watch it like at least once a year, and it's so good. This guy ain't no cripple either. No, he can walk.
1998.
He can walk.
20
I
years.
guarantee it. That's the last movie. Yeah, that's the last movie I went to more than once in the theater. I was just like, and I went to it the first time because I was a big Coen Brothers guy, and I was like, "What the hell is this movie?" And I was like, "That was a really weird movie." Like it didn't. And then a buddy of mine said,
any formula.
"Yeah," and then a buddy of mine said, "Hey, I want to go to Big Lebowski," and I was like, "I already saw it." And he's like, "Well, you want to go to it again?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go to it again." And the second time I watched it, I was like, "This is a really good movie." I was just like, it just clicked on all cylinders for me.
That is one movie that I have heard a ton about and not seen.
Oh my god, you gotta
Really?
watch it.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I never saw The Big Lebowski.
Really? I mean, it's just really weird. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I just everything about it, how like the different scenes click together, like how preceding comments in the preceding scene will like follow along, where like it's like certain statements and things like that will be reiterated the next time. Like there was this like when he goes and sees like the real Lebowski or whatever, and he's like did I complain when some the Big Lebowski did I complain when some Chinaman shot my legs out from underneath me in the Korea? No, and then like right after that, like the dude is sitting there talking. He's like, no, woo, the Chinaman, he peed on my rug, and he's like, dude, Chinaman is not the preferred nomenclature.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm probably on Amazon Prime.
You want to tell? I'll get you a
Didn't they
tell.
do a sequel of it or something like
No,
Oh, God, that would
you
kill it.
you couldn't sequel
There's
that.
no way you can
that?
sequel.
No, I'm
If they do,
serious. Look it up.
Ugh.
What's his
All
face?
right. So you brought something up, Lance. I want to ask everybody. What movie have you seen more than once in the theater?
Like I said, Big Lebowski was like the last one that I can think of. I mean, technically, I've seen Jaws in the theater because like every year it comes back and plays at the Fargo Theater during the summer, and I try to go to that with a couple of my buddies. And we just you go watch it in the theater.
Like a movie that you would have like it just came out and you saw it and then you're like, I got to go see that again.
I saw The Meg 3 times last week.
I know. I can't believe it. That's just. The
Prior
last
to
movie
that-
I saw more than once was The Firm and Jurassic Park. I saw both twice. It was the same summer. But I've not gone to see a movie twice in the theater ever after that.
I know when
Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, Infinity
Oh, you went
Gauntlet
to
I saw
Infinity War.
twice.
In the
Black
theater.
Panther I saw in theaters twice. I
Mine
know
is-
when I was
Doesn't include renting and watching on home.
No.
Theater going, yeah.
From Tom Cruise back
Which
in the
one?
day. War of the Worlds. So last time I went,
War of the Worlds. Yeah.
I went 4 times on 4 different dates.
4 times for that thing?
4 different
right?
movies. I want to see the movie
What made you want to go back to see that movie more than once?
because I was on 4 different dates and they wanted to see it. But it was a great movie too.
Oh, 4 dates.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when Return of the Jedi came out, me and my friend rode our bikes down to the movie theater and watched it every day for like a week straight. It was like at least 6 times we
Wait,
saw
who's-
Return of the
which
Jedi.
one? Oh, Return of the Jedi.
Back when I was a kid, yeah.
Yeah, back when
I saw
Star
the
Wars movies were good.
multiple times.
Back when Star Wars movies were good.
I saw The Last Jedi twice.
In the theater.
Why?
I bet the second time was painful.
Well, yeah, I wanted to see it again just to make sure I saw what I saw because I saw it. The first showing was like a late night.
Eyes, how terrible
It was a late night showing, and I was like, I was tired. I want to make sure.
Wait, that brings up another question. I have another question.
No. I have something I want to say. I want to say something.
Do
so-
not see Last Jedi.
No. See, everybody wants to get on my ass for saying that Last Jedi is a piece of crap.
Nobody is getting on your ass about it.
But everyone thinks it's funny. But then even you just said you had to like prove to yourself that what you just saw really was that bad. Everybody agrees. It's
Right,
like,
but I didn't say it sucked. I just didn't like it. It's a difference between not liking a movie and hating it with a passion. I don't hate it with a passion.
oh, it's not a passion. It's just the glorious truth emboldening my soul. It's such a pile of excrement.
You
It's
need
like
validation for this still.
it's not
We
validation.
agree with you. It's scrap.
Yes.
Only Joel Eddy likes it. He's the only person I know that
And
likes
he's,
it.
and he's, and he's a. Yeah. Whatever.
All right.
I'm
Here's the
done.
second question.
I'm gonna breathe now.
Have you ever fallen asleep in a movie?
Yep.
Like a
Oh,
movie?
Oh
yeah.
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 All the-
What
I got
movie?
movie pass now all the time.
What movie? Oh, all the time. Okay.
Yeah, all the time. I got movie pass, so I go
Well,
late.
movie pass doesn't even work anymore.
I've only fallen asleep twice in movies.
It
What
does
movies?
work.
Independence Day.
Really? Independence Day? I like that movie.
The 2 a.m. showing.
Oh, geez.
2 a.m. Yeah.
Mhm.
And Captain America. First one.
I fell asleep.
Wow.
And this
So I don't even know how the first Captain America ends because I've never watched it. I woke up.
Spoilers, you get stuck
I
in
woke
ice.
up and he's in modern day. Like I'm like, what happened?
Okay.
First,
I'll go back and watch it.
other than being a kid, like when I was like a little kid watching cartoon movies, the first movie I fell asleep at was Meeting John Malkovich. I saw it at like midnight movie, and in the first 45 minutes, I was out. My friends had to wake me up when the movie was over.
Yeah, I could see the falling asleep during that movie.
Mm-hmm.
When the Hobbit movies were coming out, like my local theater had a thing where on midnight when it would release, you'd have that, but they had the first two movies, and you sat through those two movies, and then they had the third movie, so you could watch the entire thing together.
Sleeping.
And
The Hobbit.
yeah, like that.
Ugh.
So my
Kill me
buddy Joel
now.
and I bought the tickets. They were like special tickets. They were like $20 or something like that. And
20 bucks you'll never get back.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I don't remember the second movie at all. I was just like, I had the recliner all the way back. I was like, this is nice. This is a nice.
They killed
little man.
Smog at the beginning of the movie, didn't they? Or was that at the end of the third one? I can't even remember now. No, there was like no Smog in the end in the first movie. And they
Right,
found
Well,
they
at the
showed him
very
at
end,
the
you
end.
see it. You see his
they
eyes.
find
open
Smog
up.
in the second movie, and they don't kill him in the second movie, and they
Mhm.
kill him 5 minutes into the third movie. Who? Oh, God, that's imagine
How
all
quickly the mighty have fallen. Because the
Well, yeah.
Lord of the Rings trilogy, other than some of the extended Hobbit scenes, was really good, and
Lord of the Rings was awesome.
and
There's-
the Hobbit was just really not.
Was it one of you guys that was telling me about the YouTube special about the two reasons the Hobbit messed up or something like that?
It wasn't me, but I'd like to see
There's
that.
a great YouTube documentary. Let me see if I can find it.
You're a great YouTube documentary.
I would watch a YouTube documentary on Ollie.
Yeah, I would too. I would need the nap.
Oh, yeah, you'll fall asleep pretty quick.
The movie I fell asleep at was, I know you're going to find this shocking and I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but it was Blue Lagoon.
Oh, what?
I know.
Lagoon.
Brooke Shields,
Brooke Shields.
1981.
Yeah,
Yes.
naked Brooke Shields.
I just couldn't stay awake. And maybe it was.
Well, it is a very calming, Blue Lagoon. You probably were. Blue Lagoon was like the movie that if it was on HBO, I would sneak downstairs and I'd watch it so my mom wouldn't know.
Wow,
I don't know.
this movie looks pretty good.
What movie?
Blue Lagoon.
Yeah, baby. You never seen Blue Lagoon?
No, it was released in 1980.
So?
Forrest was like 2.
I was like -6.
There are some things, my friend, that are
Okay.
timeless.
It's called The Hobbit: A Long Expected Autopsy, Part 1 of 2. And watch the second part, and then spoiler: there's a third part. It's so good. It's really well done. Explains all the problems.
Well, it was a weird cash grab, basically. I always thought.
No,
Like
watch
how-
this, dude. They're like it'll take you like an hour, maybe an hour and a half to watch them all. But it's
What is it? A YouTube thing or something,
Yeah,
or
it's
what?
YouTube. I'll give you the link to the first one. It's called A Long Expected Autopsy. Here's the link.
Is there like 45 minutes of boring Hobbit scenes in it?
No, it's very intriguing. Actually, it's
I
really-
sure hope I
it's
can
really
watch.
well done.
I'm sure hope I can watch the dwarves have dinner again, because that was really the moment that I was.
I just don't get how he had such a great formula for the original Lord of the Rings movie.
Watch the documentary. It's like a mini documentary. It's not really like
Yeah, let me take the link.
you really should. It's
YouTube chat
Also-
for
it's fantastic.
They also had to stretch it pretty thin. There's a lot of source material for the 3 movies and Lord of the Rings. Whereas The Hobbit's a pretty short book.
How can we? fit this
Yeah,
into
watch
3
the documentary.
Okay.
So
got it.
should I watch the documentary then? Is that
Well, you guys are saying like some of the exact things that are covered in the documentary.
so? But what you're saying is I should watch the documentary.
Okay, that's all I'll say. Done.
So Aldi,
Yeah.
I was just wondering, should I watch the documentary?
No. You know everything. Just you will not learn anything new from this documentary.
Is
totally
there a documentary about
Totally-
why the last?
It's totally worthless. It's totally obvious why the Hobbit sucks. Everyone knows all the answers. All right.
I saw
I
something the
gotta
other
go.
day that,
All
that made me laugh. It was about miniatures hobby, right? And it said it was just a thing about it was just about like somebody had like there was some big new thing coming out for like 40K or something. I think it was like this Adeptus Titanicus or whatever that everybody's getting all excited about and putting together these models. And the guy posted a picture. He's like, "Oh, I can't wait! My entire weekend's going to be filled with this." And it showed a picture of a guy looking underneath a chair using his phone as a flashlight.
The little guys are like they're like 10 millimeters tall, right?
Well, no, because it's just like anybody who's put models together knows that as you're doing it, you like inevitably will drop shit on the floor, and it's like this little tiny plastic piece, and like you look down and Rob can attest to this. It's like you look down, and you're like, "Oh, please let me just see it like immediately," right? And
Yeah,
then
like-
you look down, and you're like, "No,
Nothing.
you're nothing." So then like you kind of look, and then there's the lean back where you're like, okay, and you don't want to move your chair at all because you don't want to crush the thing, you know. And so then it's like, okay, and then you get up the phone and you're like, and then you don't see it. Then finally you're down on the floor and you're
What
digging
did we
around.
do before flashlight phones?
You
We
carried
just
a
lost
flashlight.
shit. You just lost shit. Who carries a
No.
flashlight?
You never carried a flashlight on your keychain? I always did.
Wow. Did you guys hear today Mike Fitzgerald announced Football Highlights 2052 going on Kickstarter in September?
Yeah, no, I knew about that for a
Oh,
while.
I
now.
just saw it from Board Game Spotlight. Just posted a picture of the prototype box. I guess they got a pre-Kickstarter review copy. I am so excited. I love baseball highlights, so Football Highlights is even better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of people that play tested it said it was really, really good.
Oh, I hope so.
It's Fitzgerald. He's
Fitzgerald's good stuff, but wow.
He's really good stuff.
Good stuff.
I haven't
Guys,
seen
I
him in
gotta
a
take
while.
off.
Oh,
I got
why do you
like
got to
6
take
hours
off
of
there,
work
tough
in front of
guy?
me. I have
He's
to-
got a lot of work to do. He said it earlier when you weren't on.
Oh,
Yeah,
bum
sorry.
chihuahua.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good talking with everybody.
See you
Take
later,
it easy,
Alden.
Aldi.
Take it
See
easy.
you
Go
later.
see the Meg.
Bye. Might have to wait for iTunes for that one for me.
Nah, go see it. Go see it this weekend.
Oh, I don't know. Or play games. What should I do?
It's only an hour and 90 minutes, or an hour and
Okay.
30 minutes. It's a
Oh,
90-minute
short.
movie. That's it. You got time.
Quick.
It-
An
it
hour
will
and
change
90
your life.
minutes.
An hour and 90
You
minutes.
don't want
Oh
to
my
say it's
God,
2.5
kill me now.
hours.
No, it's
Alright.
90 minutes. Go
All
see
right.
it.
It's about, you know what? Tuesday is like $5 day at Alamo.
There you go.
All right.
See it.
See you guys, man. Take
Take
care.
it easy.
Football Highlights 2052. I am all in. That is awesome.
You know, that'll be
Not
good
enough
stuff.
Not enough good football games out there.
Good old Stratomatic.
Stratomatic is good. I've heard
What about
good things about Pizza Box Football, although I've not played it yet. I bought it, but I haven't played it yet. Technobowl is really good.
Yeah.
Blood Bowl Team Manager.
Actually, Technobowl actually kind of replaced everything for me. I mean, it doesn't replace Blood Bowl, but Technobowl
Mm-hmm.
definitely
It's good.
That
No, I
game
agree.
is very good.
I think the hardest part about Technobowl is that there are a lot of not so much like Blood Bowl. There are a lot of little finicky rules that you got to get the timing down on. But once you've played it a couple times and you get those down, it's really, really good. But in the beginning, I was very frustrated because there's all of the modifiers for in the zone, out of the zone, the tackling bonuses based off the jersey number. It was a little bit rough in the beginning, but I love what it's trying to do. So I stuck it out, and then I ended up really liking it. I worry, though, that the casual gamers can be like, what? Because there's a lot going on with the being able to motion and then second motion. There's just so much going on. I don't think it fits well for a casual group.
No,
it
but I would
doesn't.
never play that with a casual group, though. That's just it.
Well, that's my problem is people
Well,
to play.
It's like Blood Bowl. You can't get a casual guy to play Blood Bowl.
I know, and that's the problem. Like I want to play it, but no one in my area wants to sit down and digest all that. I tried bringing it up to the game store and get people to play it with me, and they're just like, no, thanks.
It has a cult following, and it will always be around in one form or another.
Yep.
The thing that might help is this Blitz Bowl thing.
What's Blitz Bowl? I haven't heard of that.
That's their new version of it. It's supposed to be a more condensed version.
Oh, more streamlined, like less rules, more just get out and roll dice and play.
Yep.
Yeah, that may work. I want a good football game that I can
They
bring
announced it at Gen Con.
and run a league in the game store and get people to actually sit and play. It's been First and Goal. I've had a First and Goal league for forever now, and everyone loves that game. But I want a little bit more than that. But First and Goal is a solid game.
First and Goal is solid, but I always feel like I can't do anything. You know, it's
no, you don't. You just roll the dice and you hope. You know, I mean,
which for me, I get tired of that. It's just like I want to have some sort of ability to affect what's going on, and
I really hope this Football Highlights 2052 does that because Baseball Highlights really did it for me. I really enjoyed that game a lot. If this game is that good with in a football style gameplay, I'm going to be all in. I just want something that can simulate. Like I play football on the computer all the time. I play Madden with my friends and stuff, but I want a football board game I can take during the season up to the game store on a Sunday and just sit and play. Before my game, because I usually go up and play for a couple hours up at the game store before kickoff, and it's just I want something with a little more meat to it. I backed that one game, but fourth quarter football, that looks kind of cool, but it's not coming for like another 3 or 4 months. So
yeah, what do you do? I don't know. Is anybody like? I'm trying to think. Does anybody even like? Did anybody see like a demo of a game that like coming out at Essen that's like a must buy at all?
8-bit from Yellow. They had the demo copy at Gen Con. I think it's an Essen release. I really want that game, but I didn't. They may have had some copies for sale at Gen Con, but I don't think it hits retail until Essen. But 8-bit looks really cool.
And what is 8-bit?
So 8-bit is a classic take on the old Nintendo console. So basically 8-bit is a board game. It's in a box like a console, and it comes with 4 controllers and some components. And then inside the box, there are 2 cartridge boxes that look like the old school Nintendo cartridges. And then inside each one of those is a mini game that has its own components that with the base game components make a game. So there's one game called Pixel something that's like Pac-Man. There's another game that's kind of like Donkey Kong. There's another game that's like a racing game, kind of like Outrun. And you basically, each cartridge is a mini game that with the components from the base game and the controllers makes a game. And there are apparently going to be an entire line of these 8-bit games where you'll be able to buy these little cartridge boxes. And inside will be like a game that you can take to the 8-bit, use with the 8-bit game to make a full game out of it. And they're not big games. Like they're all like 20, 30-minute quick fun games, but the presentation, it's all based off of 8-bit classic video games, and the presentation looks great. And I don't know if the games are any good because I didn't get to play it, but nostalgia-wise, it's going to trigger those buttons for those type of people.
So like you. Yellow. Yeah, and Yellow makes good stuff. So.
Yeah, Yellow's pretty solid overall. They don't have too many duds, and I'm on board with that. 8-bit looks pretty solid though. Like the people I've seen that have played it and the few reviews that are floating out there are pretty positive about it. So,
hey Forrest, I was going to ask you something, and because like once again, you have no filter. So I love that about you. So I'm going to ask you this. So and we can just react to him. What? It's just like. Ha! Good Ed McMahon laugh, by the way. So how long have you been doing videos for us?
Like 6 years,
Okay. All right.
5 years, 5 or 6 years, one of the two.
5 or 6 years. Okay. Have you what? How do I even phrase this
Uh-oh.
without leading the witness? I don't want to lead you on. I want to ask you your opinion, and I don't want this to like lead you down the primrose path, as they say. What is your opinion of like the board game media people that like people how do I put this? Okay, because it's a different world now, right? It's a different world from when you started. And you started, for whatever reason, you did it because it was something fun to do or whatever.
Because he knew one day they were going to come out with tossed salad.
Yeah, exactly. So you started doing it for whatever reason. And, what is your opinion now of like the landscape of the people like some of the other channels out there? I mean, because definitely, in my opinion, there's a lot of channels showing up now. They have a lot of polish. They're doing a lot of good jobs, But I mean, what do you? But there has been kind of an explosion of it. Why do you think that is, and why do you think it's just? What's your opinion of kind of the explosion of the number of media outlets people have now?
Damn, that is a loaded question.
Yep, I'm kicking back. I almost wish I had time to pop some popcorn.
I think a lot of people get into it now. What Tom did and Rodney did, and they think they're just going to make it really fast, really quick. And I think no one's going to disagree with that. But one disturbing trend that I've really noticed is people who don't do any bad reviews. And there was this thread actually recently where it was like, what do you do with a copy of a game when it's a bad game and you don't like it? And a lot of the answers were like just so concerning if you're coming at this from a perspective of just a regular person who wants to watch a review and see if a game is good. Because a lot of people are like, I just won't review it at all. Or I saw somebody say, I just will email the publisher and say, I'm not going to review this and offer to send it back. And that pisses me off so much because you're clearly thinking about the publishers and putting them in front of your viewers. Because if you're not telling the viewers, this game's not that good, I didn't like it at all, the components are crap, this is crap. I mean, what's the point of what you're doing? At that point, you're just an advertiser. I mean, and I know a lot of people do that. I know Man vs. Meeple does that. I know there's a lot of people who do that now, and it's just that really concerns me.
Tina, I'm keeping my mouth shut. No, on Forrest. Oh yeah, hold on to it, Pete, and get ready. Here's my thing. I agree with you, and I agree with that statement 100%. The thing that gets me, though, is the guy that gets off on just picking some game apart, to try to make a name for himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, well, and then you kind of show that board game snob crap, and instead of being fair and balanced, it's how can I make a name for myself? Because that's what all the new breeds doing, if that's what you want to call them. They don't realize the work that goes into it. They think they can pick up a camera, get in front of it, and say, I can do what Forrest does. I can do what this one does and that one does, and I could do it better. And they don't realize the time that you take. When you're at Gen Con, are you playing games for us? No, you're visiting over 100 and some odd vendors, making 200 videos. You know what I mean? You're busting your ass, plain and simple. Okay, are they doing that? No, they're going up to the guys. Hey, I've made this really cool T-shirt, and I have this coffee mug. Can I review your game?
I know where you're going with this. But anyway.
You disagree with that?
Well, no. I just, you know what? It's a tough racket to get into. So when people decide what they decide to do, what they're gonna do, I try not to begrudge it. I will say this: it's like it does seem like now more than ever, if somebody like actually does, and I'm not pointing, I'm not picking anybody. Hey, check out. Hey, I made this guy tonight. Woo. Oh no, hold on. Can't really see. Light's too bright. I finished him. I put my beast of Nurgle together. So I can.
Is that all you did?
So far, geez.
I've done
I'm not
5 of those.
You've done 5 of those. 5 beasts of Nurgle.
6 of those. I've done these little pains in the ass.
Like little tiny one-piece things. Whatever. Anyway.
No, they were like 5 pieces.
Oh, whatever.
Oh.
Don't
cross the swords.
When people, now it seems like when people want to badmouth a game, and I'm not, and once again, I'm not saying anyone. I'm trying to say this in some way because I don't want anybody coming back. Oh, you mean these people? I was like, no, I'm not saying anything about anyone. You can make up your own mind. But I have seen that when an established channel, if it's an established channel and they rip on a game, it is very rarely a game from a big publisher. It's like and now I'm not saying it's because because you can also once again read into that however you want to, but it seems to me that like when it does come down to saying this game's kind of a pile, it's rarely a game from like a Cool Mini or Not, or from a Fantasy Flight or an Asmodee game. Those are not the games that are getting the it's like, oh, this is a small little publisher that's got 3 games to them. So and now it could be the horse pulling the cart or whatever. Maybe they're a small publisher and they only don't have games that are that awesome. But I have a little girl waiting to talk to me here. Hold on one second.
Have you seen Lucky?
No, where do you?
There's Lance's filter.
Mm-hmm. I did not touch you. I'm checking Caleb's room. No. So I don't know. I just think that it's maybe possible that like, and I don't know for sure. This is not me knowing anything. And if anybody wants to quote me on this, you're probably not going to get an accurate response. But it would not stun me to find out that people would be, making sure to, keep the good. If they did find a game from a big publisher that they didn't like, they might forget to do a review of it, and because they want to make sure that they don't upset the relationship that they have established with the now I don't know that for sure. I mean, and I sure as hell, I don't know, but I mean, I think it does seem weird that you rarely see like anything, and like once again, maybe it's just because they don't come up with good games. I am so far removed from the pulse of like what the games that come out nowadays, because of the fact that I still review stuff, but I mean it's mostly Kickstarter stuff, and I'm not like up to date with everything. So I'm not a good person to ask. So and the number of games I get to play now is vastly reduced. So but like I said, it does seem odd to me, and I'll just leave it at that. So, and you can read into that however you like.
Uh-oh.
What?
Brought it up.
What's everybody giggling for?
I just, oh man, it annoys me, and yeah, you don't want to call people out, but there's one game in particular that comes to my mind called Outpost, I think 76 from what is it? Ross Thompson, but IDW Games, and it was broken, like it was straight up broken. Jonathan Gilmore, one of the designers, I messaged him. I was like, dude, what kind of happened here? And he said there was a big screw up in the rules, and it made the game literally unwinnable. Like you cannot win the game no matter what you do, pretty much. And yeah, there's still people who are like, yeah, it's great, it's really hard, and it's like that. And it's just like the kiss ass level of it. It's ridiculous. It's like, it just annoys me. And I think as someone who would want to watch these videos, that would like those people on those channels are like, it's great or it's good. I'm like, all right, I'm never really going to be able to take any of your videos serious because I know that you're just doing it for the free stuff.
Well, maybe they're a better player than you. You don't know. Maybe
there was a guy that set it up. Actually, I'm pretty sure there's a BGG video of a guy who set up the game so it would be the easiest it could possibly be, and he still lost, setting up everything to be the perfect conditions.
Well, I think what that comes down to is there's a lot of up and coming or just starting out reviewers. And I think the fear of bad reviews to get them blacklisted from that company is so great that they need those copies in order to build up a library of reviews that, because your average guy starting up can't afford to buy it all, right? Unless he has a regular job. I mean, if he's doing it part-time and slowly trying to build, like you probably should do. But if he's trying to go all in, he's dependent on free copies. So I think that the problem is there's people like Rodney that shot up so quickly that it gave everyone this false sense of security that you could go out there and put out some good videos and all of a sudden you're going to be 100,000 plus subscribers and getting offers from publishers to do all this work and stuff. And that's so rare that I think it sent a whole flood of want to be reviewers that don't necessarily have what it takes to be on that level. And now that's why you're seeing this flood of new blood that has come in that they're a little gun shy. They're trying not to make any missteps because all it takes is one, and you're not going to get, the good stuff from the big publishers. So,
here's a question for you guys. Do you think they'll be here in a year and a half, 2 years?
No. 90% of the reviewers out there now will not be around unless it's a very part-time. Like, yeah, there will be some of these guys that have a 40-hour job and do this just because they love it, and they'll be here 5 years from now, but they'll be putting out their 1 or 2 videos a month, or maybe even 1 or 2 videos a week, but it's just real light, no editing, just straight up 5 minutes. Here's what I think of this game. Those guys will stick around. But the guys that are trying to go all in and do this as if it's a full-time career, no. There's too much media content to absorb as it is now. So unless you're in the top 20% or so, you're just going to fall to the wayside.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I think from like last year and 2 years ago in that board game reviewer thing, there's so many people who just quit after a couple months. Which,
yeah, it's not as easy as it looks. Man versus Meeple guys, Rodney guys, these guys that came onto the scene kind of quick and all of a sudden just shot up and just did great. Those are very few exceptions out of thousands of people that have tried to do this and have failed. And the people that are in this group and the people that are our friends that most of us know, most of these people have put a lot of effort, time, and resources into getting where they are now. This doesn't happen overnight. And I think some people get that false sense of oh, they're just sitting in front of a camera talking about games and don't have any clue how much work goes into what you guys do. Plain and simple. I mean, what appears to be a quick 8-minute video review may have taken 3 hours worth of editing time and 5 reshoots. These guys have no clue. So,
or you could be like me, just let it roll and let all the mistakes just stay in there.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a fan base for that too that likes it raw and uncut and wants to just see your honest opinions in a one-shot video.
Hi, my name is Rob. I will be painting this figure today. Today, we will take this figure and, well, we will be adding paint to this figure.
I like
Join
it.
me as, come on, let's all go down to the table.
That's my
I
Morden
would
goal.
totally love to see you do a video like that just as a gag. Like on April Fools, you should totally do a video like that next year.
I have a paintbrush. Yes.
Yes, you do. No. Yeah. So almost everybody who has this Morden Ghoul, which is a rather large, like here's one of my Blood Bowl guys in comparison to the size. But this is like a big giant spirit, rips things apart. The base of it, you're supposed to build up this like horse, like he's ripping apart this horse and rider, but almost nobody uses that as the base. If you find pictures of it, what they do is they mod it, and like they actually carve out the horse, and like they put like skulls or something that it's on.
What is that for?
It's a Forge World model for Age of Sigmar, Night Haunt army. So it's actually, if you can see his face, pretty good face. Pretty good resin thing that they created, whatever.
While you were explaining all that, I painted this model. And as you can see, that horrible explanation, I have colored him and made him very...
Is that the...
It's Shadows of Brimstone.
Oh, okay. It looks like the Death Guard Primarch Daemon guy.
Oh, no, I'll tell you. Some of these flying frog video, some of them go together really easy, and then some of them you say, "Oh, this should go easy," and it is a bear.
Roar. But all right. Well, it's getting late. I'm sure people are getting tired.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna drop out because up early at 4.
Yeah, go and work. You working stiff. But yeah, I suppose we should it is almost 11:30, and plus what happened to everybody? There's no Keith, there's no Anthony,
Anthony said his back was hurting, he wasn't gonna be on. Keith, I don't know why Keith wasn't on tonight.
He fell
He
asleep.
didn't post anything. Usually he posts if he's not gonna be on, but I don't remember seeing anything.
No Keith.
See what he's saying, Forrest? Basically, see what he's saying, Forrest? Basically, Forrest and Rob's here. Let's end it.
No, I'm just saying it's getting late and we're all a little punchy. My daughter came down and she's upset because she can't find something, and I got to go help her. And with that, but
yeah, no, that's cool. It's 12:30 my time, so I could get to bed here.
Same here.
yeah, look at that sleep. Isn't sleep wonderful?
It is wonderful.
Hey, make sure you check out Rob's video tomorrow. There's a kind of a big announcement as far as Rob and I are going to be working on a new project together. It's going to be called Miniatures at the Movies, and Rob will explain a little bit more.
I call it a miniature and a movie, kind of like dinner and a movie.
That fine, whatever you want to call it. Anyway,
Here we go, our first fight.
Yeah, first fight. I said, damn it, it's going to be miniatures at the movies. No, if you check out my channel, I did a blog. I did 3 blogs today. I'm going to try to do that. Try to do those every Tuesday. Just a blog about like board games, a blog about role-playing games, and a blog about miniatures hobbies. And but anyway, during the miniatures hobbies one, I announced that Rob and I are going to be working together on a little project, and we're gonna, because I
have a few things in mind.
Yeah, but this is the first thing we're gonna try and see if we don't hate each other. No, the big thing.
2 hours on the phone. Yeah, we're gonna hate each other.
Yeah, that's a good conversation. No. So
Only
we're
2.
gonna...
Lance must not have been long-winded.
No. We just we're gonna because the biggest thing is finding time to set aside to paint or to build or whatever, and so If like we're gonna be like watching a movie and watching the same movie together and commenting on the movie while we watch it, and then we'll invite other people to watch that same movie live with us. Or if they can't watch it live, they can watch it after the fact. And if they start the movie at the exact same time, it'll be kind of like they're hanging out with us and watching the same movie. And then we'll be like working on like we'll try to come up with like themed miniatures for that match up with the movie that we can watch at the same time. So anyway, it'll be I don't know. Who knows? It might be stupid. It might suck, but I think Rob and I think it'll be fun at the very least. So and it's an excuse just to hang out, really, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. If anything, if nobody watches, who cares? We get to hang out and paint.
Yeah. So which is the whole, like, in my opinion, the goal anyway. I gotta make sure that I get my stuff primed and ready to go so I can actually paint when we do it. But anyway. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yep. If you're out there, go see the Meg and play Warhammer Champions.
Go see the Meg another 7 times. Make sure that everybody watches the Meg.
That's right.
The movie made $46 million. Pete and his family, 43. Invested.
Yes.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right.